Welcome to Sliders Baseball here at Ozinga Field. Yes, the Windy City Thunderbolts have transformed into the Windy City Sliders today, as the Sliders are 11 and 18, facing off against the Evansville Otters, who are 17 and 12. Aiden Varley, Patty Cesarini here with you. It's a very cold, chilly, breezy day.
Very chilly, Aiden. Very chilly.
Patty's not a big fan of the cold air here at Ozinga Field. Patty, we had a very eventful day yesterday. The Thunderbolts did lose in sudden death overtime, which I think is very interesting in a baseball game. Yesterday, 2-1, the first game of a doubleheader due to the rain out on Tuesday, and then they ended up with a Will Riley game-winning single to walk it off to end yesterday's ball game.
I mean, if anything, that's going to keep the spirits high, especially going into today. Later, actual full game, we'll play a full 9 innings. It's cold, but I think you got to hold on to a moment like that. You remember it, and you remember that feeling that you had, and then go into today like it's a new day, it's a new game, because that's what it is, and focus on what you can do today. But I think carrying that energy from yesterday at the end of the game and how excited they were, our bench cleared, taking that into today's game is important.
Like Patty said, it's very important that they keep the offense going. Yesterday, I feel like it was kind of like the perfect storm. We got great pitching, and also the offense showed up in just a 7-inning ball game yesterday. So today's starters, today we have for the Evansville Otters, we have Tim Holdgrafer. Tim, his last outing was against Schaumburg. He went 6 innings and got the loss with 9 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and did surrender a home run in that one. And today for your Windy City Thunderbolts, we do have Adrian Reese. Adrian did go in his last outing. He threw a loss in 6 innings. It gave up 3 earned runs and 3 Ks against Lake Erie. And for starting lineups today for Evansville Otters, we have batting first, left fielder number 9, Noah Myers. Batting second, first baseman number 2, Jacob Olson. Batting third, center fielder number 19, Kona Quiggle. Batting cleanup, right fielder number 33, Jeffrey Baez. Batting fifth, catcher number 7, Dakota Phillips. Batting sixth, DH number 28, Jomar Reyes. Batting seventh, second baseman number 1, Ethan Skender. Batting eighth, shortstop number 6, George Khalil. And batting ninth for the Evansville Otters, we have third baseman number 8, Troy Viola. And Patty has your Windy City Sliders starting lineup.
Batting leadoff for the Sliders, not your Thunderbolts, but I guess we can still kind of call them the Thunderbolts, right? I think we're going to have to. In your leadoff spot, you have Will Riley, the hero of the game yesterday, playing second base. Jake Boone batting second, playing shortstop. Third, Brent Spillane in center field. Cleanup is Junior Martina playing third base. Fifth, you have Peyton Isaacson as a designated hitter. Sixth is Micah Yonamine playing first base. Seventh is Dan Robinson playing left field. Eighth is Matt Morgan, and he'll be behind the dish. Ninth is Paul Kumulos out in right field.
Patty, what are some keys to the game? I know that we said it's always offense that we try to look for the Thunderbolts to try and get going, kind of like we saw yesterday in the second game against Evansville. What do you kind of expect from this lineup against Tim Holdgrafer?
I mean, I would kind of, like you said, we always do talk about the offense and how the offense needs to kind of do its thing and back up the pitching and the defense. But I think Reese is going to have to attack really early at these guys. And then a couple issues we ran into yesterday, some small ball things. We saw a couple miscommunications between both catchers. Waite was there the first game, then it was Matt Morgan and Junior Martina who was at third. There were a couple miscommunications, and they didn't end up getting the guy out at first. So I think taking care of those little things, not letting that kind of affect the game, because that's stuff that's a routine play. That's something. But again, something so small that miscommunication is gonna affect you. And they had extra base runners and allowed them to come back in this game. So I would say cleaning that up. Don't make the same mistakes that you did yesterday. And then with not making those same mistakes, you force them to beat you a different way. And I think that's what they're going to have to do in order to take this game tonight.
Patty, who are you really looking for in the Windy City Thunderbolts lineup to try and continue that spark on offense?
I'm looking for Brent Spillane to keep up his thing. He was great yesterday. He had an RBI and a double, and he always came up with 2 outs on runners in scoring position. And then, how could you forget Yonamine with a 2-run bomb in the second game? So watching out for him too,
Patty, well said. Micah Yonamine did get that home run. Sadly, not my yard card yesterday.
You're never going to live that one down.
It's a beautiful, windy day here at Ozinga Field. Today's umpires are home plate umpire Dominic Longbuco, first base umpire Kevin Worth, and third base umpire Benjamin Williams. First pitch momentarily here at Ozinga Field, and we will take you to the field for our national anthem.
Thunderbolt baseball coming at you live from Ozinga Field. Mark Citron alongside Andy Yackham for the play-by-play call. Andy's going to take over the, 4th, 5th, 6th, right, partner?
Yes, sir.
And
right
then
back to the normal schedule, 9-inning ball game today.
Oh, yeah, I know. I kind of like the 7. I mean, the 2 is a little stressful afterwards for that little
until the
short
first
break.
game became a 9-inning game, but yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's well said. Patty Cesarini's downstairs. Aiden Varley will join play-by-play as well in the broadcast again. Great job of the pregame as always, guys. Bolts look to take the series, or should I say, as Aiden's on it, the Sliders on Thursdays here at Ozinga Field. And we got post-game wrestling, folks. This stuff's pretty intense, I have to say, because they warm up in the.
Yeah, I feel bad for them though, Mark. Obviously, wrestlers, they don't have a lot of clothing, but it's always been cold on these White Castle Windy City Slider Thursday night wrestling. We had it a couple weeks ago when Gateway came in for the second game of that doubleheader. Have it here tonight, but Adrian Reese on the mound, his second start of the year, 10th appearance for the Bolts. The Southpaw went 6 innings in his first start of the year, his last time out against Lake Erie on that road trip. will look to make it another quality start here for the Bolts in the finale of this 3-game set with the Otters.
No, he was pretty good on that Lake Erie start. 6 innings, 4 hits, a few walks, 3 strikeouts, 4 runs, but pretty solid, I thought, again. And I'm interested to see how he's going to go here on his second appearance. As looking for his first win of the year, the Moline, Illinois native. Is that correct? As the Illinois native, Andy Yakum.
I believe
Moline?
it's Moline, but I've been proven wrong before, even here in my own state.
You can prove me wrong. This is inside to Noah Myers' first batter of the game, because I know we talked about it before I hit the road briefly, as the 1-0 from Adrian. It's popped into play by Noah Myers towards the right field side. And cruising over, I'd say about 10 steps to make the catch in right field for your Bolts. Paul Koumelos this evening in right field. It's been a wild card in right field. One away on the top of the first.
Yeah, I've been seeing a little bit of everything
Lately
out there in the recent going. But today it'll be Koumelos. I know we saw Riley out there in Game 1 yesterday. Hovey went from left to right for Game 2. So third different right fielder in 3 games against Evansville.
Old southpaw, so that's a called strike to Jacob Olsen, the hero in Game 1. Had that game-winning double and sudden death in the 11th inning. The 0-1 called strike from Reese is on its way. It's hit to Jake Boone at short. He'll gobble it up. Routine on to first. Yonamine snag. 6-3, 2 outs just like that on a windy. I thought we were done with the
You thought we were done
Colts,
with this? Oh my goodness! Yeah, you got your jacket on. I got my jacket on up here. We got our 2 windows. Yours is open. Mine's closed. So we don't have 2 chilly gusts coming in here to start the ball game.
This one misses low. 2 outs, no one on for Kona Quiggle. I don't want to jinx this anymore. I bet there'll be at least one more chilly night, but I mean, come on. We have 3 more this weekend. Okay, against Jersey. I was going to say, because we have Canada next week, so swing and a miss. It's going to get to the depths of summer. 1-1 the count here to Kona Quiggle, center fielder for the Otters. 2 outs, nobody on here in the first. The 1-1 count is on its way here. The pitch, a breaking ball outside. It's 2-1. And again, as I always say, we're not meteorologists, but we have to report because the wind's all over the place, too.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like many balls will be getting out of the park. You never know. This one just high and inside. 3-1 to Quiggle. 2 gone here on the top of the first.
Quiggle was hitless in Game 2, as was he in Game 1. Partner, I just got startled on that foul ball back here.
Finally. It took like all year. Yeah, you don't get startled by much, but that one right at you. I would have saved you. I was ready. I had the paw up. Full count to Quiggle. 2 outs. Reese has his decision. It's on the way to Kona. It's outside of a breaking ball. Ball 4. And I mentioned I was about a week ago rambling about 2 out walks. 2 out just details as Kona Quiggle unstraps all his gear to the ball boy very politely. Free pass to now Jeffrey Baez, who had a nice Game 2.
Did not have a nice Game 1, though, Mark. 0 for 4, 3 punch-outs in the opener. Was able to turn it around. More favorable matchup in Game 2, going from facing a right-hander in Sugg in Game 1 to a soft-tossing left-hander in Kenny Matthews in Game 2.
It's funny you bring that up as Baez drives us to right field deep and skittering back to make the grab. Koumelos, want to remember that thought, partner, quickly. Otters have lost 5 straight decisions to a southpaw. Will it be 6 tonight? We'll find out. To the bottom of the first we go for Mozinga Field after this.
Celebrate the history of our national pastime at the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown. See priceless treasures that'll bring your baseball memories to life. Connect with events that have shaped and changed the game and our country. Our stories to tell, your memories to share. Plan your visit today at baseballhall.org.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
yeah.
We might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
This broadcast is partially underwritten by St. Xavier University. St. Xavier's Graham School of Management is accredited by the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business International, AACSB. This accreditation ranks the Graham School of Management among the top 5% of business programs in the world. For more information on St. Xavier University's Graham School of Management, please visit their website, sxu.edu.
Thunderbolt baseball, bottom of the first, no score from Mozinga Field. Adrian Reese, 3 of 4. The other batter coming on a walk with 2 outs. As the Bolts, or should I say Slaughters? It's kind of hard to adjust.
We can go with both.
It's my job. I want to say, hey, Windy City Sliders, that's what the uniform says this evening. Beautiful stuff. And I know last game I was rambling about that. Where to bid on these bad boys? WCThunderbolts.com. Tim Holdgrafer. First pitch from the right-hander from San Diego, California. College strike here to Will Riley, the hero in Game 2 for Windy City. 0-1 on the count as Holdgrafer's pitch outside.
Yeah, Holdgrafer, this will be appearance number 7, start number 7 on the campaign. He's 4-2. He's gotten a decision in every single start that he's made. 37 innings pitched. That leads the Otters in that category with a 2.68 ERA.
1-1 to Will Riley. $1.75 for the campaign is down low 2-1. Well, he was in Toledo previously with the Mudheads in AAA last season as the 2-1 pitch to Will Riley leading off for the Bolts or the Sliders. It's going to be fascinating.
Yeah, he got roughed up in his last start back on June 9th against Schaumburg, going 6 innings, giving up 9 hits and 4 runs. But he went 8 innings of scoreless ball back on June 3rd at Joliet. So he's put together some real nice starts so far this season, partner.
Yeah, interesting windup. This is called strike on a 3-1 to Riley for the Bolts. Oh, man, the Sliders, this is going to be a good challenge. Full count, no score, bottom of the first. Holdgrafer has the full count decision. Fouled off down the third baseline by Riley. It's kind of like he slowly unwinds and then all of a sudden, whew, it's like a pitching machine, a real life batting cage machine. It's just like, whew, very robotic, but it just slurps that ball. Full count pitch again to Riley. This is swung on, hit into play to right center field, back, and eventually center field calling off. Kona Quiggle, Jeffrey Baez, respectively, one away here in the bottom of the first. No score.
Yeah, good at bat still from Riley, working the count full in the right-hander, Holdgrafer. I'll continue to say this every single game that we have this year. Even though this is the finale of a series, you don't have to worry about what Evansville's pen looks like beyond today. Holdgrafer's a good arm. He's put together a really good season, as we continue to mention. The sooner you get to that Evansville pen, the better off you'll be.
And with 1 out, here's the pitch from Holdgrafer, fouled off from Jake Boone. Hard to believe Jake Boone batting under 200, $1.96. Had his first home run of the year 6 days ago in Lake Erie. And had that 7-game hit streak, 0-1 to Boone. He rips it into right field, tailing for a base hit. First hit of the evening as Boone chugs into first base with 1 out near the bottom of the first, no score.
Yeah, low and away fastball from Holdgrafer. On that decision, Boone takes it the other way. Good piece of hitting, staying through, not trying to pull that ball when it was out on the outer third. Bolts get a run around with 1 out here in the first inning.
Who's got Big Bren in their wild card? Big Bren Spillane, the Wheeling kid here
That'd
at
be
Illinois.
Aiden.
All right.
So it's Aiden's got Bren, Patty's got Mike, I took PI, and you got Matt Morgan, partner.
I do. As check swing from the first pitch with 1 on, 1 out is inside to Bren Spillane. 323 leading the Windy City Thunderbolts all season long in terms of that average. 5 home runs, 14 RBIs, 5 home runs is the leader as well. Bolts 15th in the league, and it's a graveyard, as you like to call it, Andy. And the 1-0 off the tip of the glove there, but quickly fiddled with by Dakota Phillips. 2-0. Boone hangs tight at first with 1 down, no score.
Yeah, Bren had a knock in each game of the doubleheader. Yesterday had a first inning single in game 2. Kind of to get things going for the Bolts and had a RBI single in the 6th inning, the only run driven in by Windy City in Game 1.
Called strike 2-1 to Brent Spillane. Well, the Bolts have had 7 one-run games out of 29. And at least 3 of them have come out of the 5 meetings against Evansville. 2 and 3 the Bolts against these Otters. Here's the pitch from Holgrave for inside. Phillips doing his best to frame that one, but no cigar. 3-1 the count to Brent Spillane with Boone on first. 1 away. Holgrafer looking for a sign. And yeah, his numbers look pretty good besides that Schauberg start. And Schauberg, offensive ball club, as we know, as the runner's going. Strike is called. The throw, not in time. Boone. A stolen bag, and you know what that means. $5 courtesy of Raising Cane's to Operation Blessing of the Southwest Chicagoland. Thank you, Raising Cane's. Full count, 1 out. Boone to second on the steal.
Yeah, Skender, the second baseman, tried getting a swipe tag on Boone's backside as he went in head first. Good slide by Boone, just beating the throw. I thought the throw was going to beat him there, but nonetheless, runner in scoring position for the Bolts with 1 out.
Swing and a miss. Spillane down on strikes, so Holgrafer battles back from 3-1 to get Spillane a big out after the Boone single and stolen bag. 2-way here in the bottom of the first.
It'll be up to Junior Martina hitting in the cleanup spot. Playing third base per usual for the Bolts, a .255 average for Junior coming into today's ball game.
I feel like he was quiet, yes. Besides the defensive play, of course, was excellent. Behind the batter's box, at least. No score, 2 outs. Boone at second for Junior Martina. .255 average. Takes first pitch, 93-mile-an-hour heater strike.
Yeah, was hitless in the opener and had himself a knock in Game 2.
Sounds about right. Average would point to that, but Holgrafer looking for the sign. With 2 outs, Boone at second. Holgrave for the 0-1 to Junior Martina. Netherlands product bounces it to first base. Caught Olsen off guard, but he's able to recover after it fiddled out of his glove. We remain scoreless heading to the top of the second for Mozinga Field. Sliders nothing and Otters zip.
Support for this Thunderbolts broadcast.
Windy Sliders baseball coming at you. Mark Citra and Andy Yakum here in the play-by-play. Patty Cesarini should have our on-site report. And then the bottom half of this second inning, no score from Mozinga Fields. Both teams have left a runner on as we cruise on another chilly night here for Mozinga Fields. I guess I got to put in the Bolts drinking game, which please have fun responsibly. But if weather is mentioned, please have a sip of your favorite refreshment. This is outside from Adrian Reese to Dakota Phillips. Catching, played second base in that, or first base, I beg your pardon. That second game of the doubleheader. Takes ball 1. Top of the second. Here's the second pitch. Reese quick to deliver. His bounce to first. Yonomina on the bag like that. One away for the Sliders here at the top of the second.
And that'll bring up Jomar Reyes. Mark, the guy who carried the Evansville offense all day yesterday. I know in the second game, had a double, was driven in on that 2-run double by Jake Green that forced the game into extras and had a 3-hit game in game 1.
Strike is called, to Reyes. 327 average also backs that up, partner. Couple home runs, 11 RBIs with one out. Takes a called strike. This one outside to Reyes, who wiggles in the box. Flexes, getting that back loose. Guess there's some autograph smugglers. Before batting practice, I was going down with Griffin as this is a breaking ball hitting to shallow right field. Yonomine tracking, makes the grab. Probably about less than 10 yards down the foul line on the first base side. 2 outs for Adrian Reese here at the top of the second, no score.
Nice play by Yonomine, sticking with it. Weakly hit ball off the hands of Reyes, hitting it the other way, being able to stick with it over his shoulder. So he had his throwing shoulder turned toward the plate. Nice grab there by Micah. 2 up, 2 down for Reese here in the top of the second inning.
Well said. And the wind sort of may have drifted that ball. We saw those T-shirts as this one misses outside. They got those things as soon as they were thrown in the air. Phew. That's how big the gusts are, at least. 1-0 to Ethan Skender, the second baseman, 248 on the season. Takes one down low, 2-0. 2 outs, nobody on here at the top of the second is Adrian Reese. And his second start for Windy City this evening has the decision through the motion. Reese, it's hit hard, foul to the third base line by Skender.
Skender, a 248 hitter on the season, coming to the ball game, getting on base at a 317 clip. He'll use his timeout of the at-bat here. 7 stolen bases as well, so can run. Yesterday was 1 for 3 in the opener, a run scored. That would be the 1 run prior to extra innings, and was 0 for 3 in game 2.
2-1 from Reese outside, 3-1 to Skender. These Windy City Slider jerseys, I mean, it's giving White Castle such good publicity. 3-1 pitch from Reese. Where'd that miss, partner? Ball 4. Good. Second walk for Reese, but this is kind of like Lake Erie. No, much better, actually, I think, the start, but in a sense of this call's not missing by much, at least. That looked pretty good to me on a 3-1. But nonetheless, the home plate umpire, Dominic Long-Bucco. Didn't I say Bucco?
Bucco Blast.
That's the Pittsburgh. I mean, it's spelled like that. It's probably Bucco, though. So Aiden Varley, great stuff on the pregame show. 2 outs, runner at first. For George Khalil, the shortstop, 200 average, takes a strike on the inside part of the plate. 0-1. Otters 5 games above 500, looking to keep treading upward. Bolts 7 under, but a huge win. What a gutsy win for the Bolts last night. As the runner at first, Reese pauses and then pitches fouled out of play. It's 0-2 with 2 outs here. No score, top of the second for George Khalil.
Yeah, and throughout today, obviously not now with it having 2 strikes in this count, but Khalil laid down a couple bunts and a couple bunt hits yesterday throughout the doubleheader. Really quick, working his way down to first.
Yeah, they're a small ball team. They are when they get on. So we'll keep an eye at first base. That's Skender. There's a throw over as Reese not taking any chances. 0-2 count again with 2 outs. Khalil home run, 6 runs batted in, has drawn 5 walks thus far for these pesky Otters as Reese. 0-2. Wow. Breaking ball just misses. 1-2.
Yeah, good looking pitch on the outside corner. It's that curveball that Reese throws. Missed middle out, says the home plate umpire, Long-Bucco. 1-2 now on Khalil.
Runner off, pitch fouled off. Love that. Doesn't even going so fast. The second doesn't even. That's how you got to hustle. All the way back to the bag there, Skender. 1-2 the count with 2 gone to Khalil here. No score. Adrian Reese quick to his decision from catcher Matt Morgan. And Reese breaking ball. That's tapered down the right side out of play.
Cole giving Reese a battle here. A couple fouled off in this at-bat, driving up that pitch count. We know now for the Bolts, too, partner. Didn't work a lot into that pen yesterday. It was just Whittle in game 1.
That's pretty phenomenal, if you ask.
Yeah, game 2 saw Eddington.
Yeah. No, but
That was it, man.
last Sunday against Lake Erie, this one grounded to third. Martina plays it and able to get that ball on the first to the bottom of the second. Sliders and Otters scoreless from Ozinga Field.
Thunderbolts baseball on WXAV is being supported by
Windy City Thunderbolt baseball on Thursdays is the Windy City Sliders. Scoreless to the bottom of the second. Sliders in their beautiful jerseys. So glad we got that doubleheader in a lot of ways a few weeks ago against Gateway because could get a read on these jerseys. They're really, is that ocean blue? What kind of blue? Royal blue?
Yeah, more of a royal.
And then on the arms, though, as Peyton Isaacson makes his way to the plate here in the bottom of the second to lead off. As he grounds it to second base, Skender calmly fields a couple of hops to his left on the first, just like that, one away. But it's the cheese, remarkably.
There's a lot of detail there.
Yeah, they're really well done, but like the coloring works beautifully in on the numbers, but it really looks like a White Castle, if you can imagine their color scheme. I don't know what the writing is on the jersey with one out on the bottom of the second. Yonamine to the plate for the Bolts. Micah takes a strike.
He had a blast yesterday, huh? Dead center shot.
In this park.
Game 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
He got all of it.
I'm starting to realize now, too, as we get to the road, how tough it is to really crank one out of here. Swing and a miss, 0-2 after the called strike, one away. No score. Yonamine cut and a miss. As Micah calls for time.
Having issues with that wrist guard.
Yeah, exactly. I love the one time per at bat rule. I feel like when you're pitching to a lot of hitters try to just every pitch, would they try to abuse that? At least swing and a miss down on strikes. Yonamine. 2 gone here in the bottom of the second. No score.
Relating back to that, partner, it's all a tempo thing. If a pitcher feels like he's in a groove, he's working at a pace that the batter doesn't necessarily like, you can, if you need to use 1 timeout, 2 timeouts within an at-bat, whenever it might be to throw him off. But limiting it to 1 not only speeds up the pace, but it actually works, yes, as an advantage to the pitcher because your momentum, your tempo can only be slowed down once in an at-bat.
Good stuff as second strikeout for Holdgrafer. And this one misses outside of Daniel Robinson. A great game, too.
Yeah, if it wasn't for him, the Bolts don't walk off in the bottom of the 7th. Had that 2-out infield squibber down the third base side. Came around, stolen base, and then came in on that Will Riley chip shot to left center.
Slaps it foul down the third base side. 1-1 after Robinson. Yeah, that was crazy, right? Because I mid-inning, too, I was like, what if he – because that pop out. But, yeah, that was the play, though.
And it was against
two outs.
the hard-throwing left-hander,
Yeah.
De La Cruz, as well. Two lefties in a row, Robinson and Riley, facing the hard-throwing left-hander. The odds just didn't seem in their favor, and Bolts were able to pull it off.
Strike call to Rob. It was unbelievable. Robinson 1-2 the count with 2 outs. It's crazy. We'll get back to it eventually, but the stat that doesn't drive me crazy as Holgrafer has his decision is after 8 and 9 innings, the Bolts trailer 0-15-16. Tapped between the pitcher and catcher. Phillips takes it, but that's not in time. Another infield hit for Robinson. Man, and I thought the pitcher was close to that one, Andy.
And that's just poor communication between Holgrafer and Phillips. It was, who's going to take it? I'm going to take it. No, you're going to take it. And by the time Phillips pounced on it, it was too little, too late. Robinson was busting it down that line, and another 2-out knock, another 2-out infield single for him in this series. It'll bring up Matt Morgan to extend the inning.
With 2 outs, no score. Morgan, second hit for the Bolts. My yard card pick. Hey, man, he launched a grand salami in New York, which I don't like because I never had time to prepare for a grand slam call. I butchered it. Like, it was a good big fly. He crushed that bad boy, but I'm not a salami guy. A strike is called, so I don't want to ever say that again, but I don't know what else. I mean, literally, that was – I wonder how many feet that was. Because I could, on Yacker Tech, I wonder if it has the past big flies. 0-1 to Matt Morgan. He hits it to left, but shallow left field. Sprinting, making the grab in foul territory is Myers. To the top of the third, sliders nothing. Erie, Evansville nothing, but we have Patty Cesarini downstairs first. Patty.
Game 3 at Evansville, it was a little uncharacteristic for the Bolts. Our pitching was the Achilles heel. Collectively, as a pitching staff, they gave up 11 hits, 9 runs. They had 9 errors and only 7 strikeouts. But the bats were really hot. Martino was 3 for 5. Spillane went 1 for 4 with an RBI and a double. Yonamine 2 for 4 with a double. And Jonathan Waite went 2 for 4. I had a chance to talk to some of the guys before the game started and get some keys for tonight. Spillane said Game 3 is all mindset. You have to stay loose, think of it as just another game, and don't put too much pressure on yourself. But you walk that fine line with pressure. You want to stay loose and stay relaxed and not to the point where there's no focus, but too much pressure, you start to play a little bit tense and you make a couple errors. It's all about finding that sort of middle ground. And after yesterday, Riley said it was really fun to celebrate, felt a sense of relief, and finally got a W, and things are hopefully going to go their way again today. Back to you guys.
Great stuff, Pats, as the Bolts, or should I say Sliders? Gosh, yeah, that's tough for tonight. Scoreless here as we go to the top of the third from Mozinga Field. That's the thing about baseball. I mean, how many times we got to say it, partner? Never too high, never too low. And eventually we're going to say it's a long season, then we're going to be in August and be like, uh-oh. But
yeah, time flies when you're having fun, right?
I feel like it's a repetition thing. I mean, the simpler the better. Like, look at a guy like Daniel Robinson. That infield single last night could turn a season around. It could turn the team's season around. And I'm being a little grand and positive, but no, I mean, that was a heck. To beat that out, I think shows me something, and that's just an example of a rep I thought that was gutty and very character-esque, showing Daniel Robinson's not going to go down without a say as we get these Otters here in the top of the third. Troy Viola to the plate, and the third baseman, an Oregon native. Bend, Oregon is the 0-1 from Adrian Reese, cut and a miss, 0-2.
Yeah, did not see him. He did come in as a pinch runner in the doubleheader yesterday. I believe that was in Game 1. Yes, he was the game-winning run that came around. But other than that, no at-bats or plate appearances of that nature yesterday.
Fouls this one off here in the top of the third. Otters looking for their first hit of the ball game. Reese the 0-2 to Troy Viola. That's outside, 1-2. Nice snag by Matt Morgan, who whizzed around 360 degrees to catch that one. 1-2 to Viola. Leading off the top of the third. $188 average for Troy as he waits on a breaking ball and splits it down the third base side foul. The southpaw, Adrian Reese, has a decision. It's tapped to Jake Boone at short. He'll glove it with one hand and field the first. Yonomine snags. One gone here at the top of the third. Noah Myers now the leadoff guy to the top of the order for the Otters, who reached a couple of bases due to walks.
That's all they've been able to muster against Reese so far. Otters still hitless. We saw it yesterday, too. Taylor Sugg did a great job in game one of that doubleheader, going full regulation, going 7 innings.
First pitch from Reese looks very smooth here to start. There's a called strike to Noah Myers, who flew out into right center field. His first at bat, the 0-1 with one gone at the top of the third. A breaking pitch missing away, 1-1. Myers has been one of these Otters who's been pretty successful against the Bolts so far. As Reese, the 1-1, it's crushed to right field. Myers deep and foul. That wind pushing that ball directly right. I mean, that thing was off the bat, nose down the right field line. I think it ended up towards, another neighborhood. 1-2 the count, one gone to Myers.
Yeah, 4 homers on the year for Myers. That would have been number 5. That would have hooked fair.
1-2 from Reese. That's fouled off again for Myers. And a play.
Yeah, Myers flew out to Paul Koumelos in right field back in the first inning to start this ball game.
2 home runs, 7 RBIs. Those are all from the first series, though, in Evansville. 333 average as he taps this to the right side of the infield. Gobbled up Carson Matthews. Close play on a soft ground ball. I'd say it was pretty routine, though, partner. I wouldn't say it wasn't that out of the ordinary, but out is made. 2 outs here at the top of the third, no score.
Yeah, Riley let that one come to him. Didn't attack and approach it aggressively, which is totally fine. But, yeah, you mentioned Myers flying down the line. Really close play for a 4-3 put out. But, hey, however you can get it done, right? 2 up, 2 down for Reese in the third.
As this breaking ball called strike to Jacob Olson. Yeah, I forgot that Riley's at second. There you go. Beg your pardon, Carson Matthews. And the line drive caught by Junior Martina, and he sprints to the dugout. Sliders, nothing. Otters, nothing to the bottom of the third.
My name is Shay, and I have a condition that I take a medication that's made out of human plasma.
Hi, Shay. Welcome to BioLife. We take the generous gift of these donors in order to make these therapies. We make it safe, fast, and easy.
You know, you're compensated for your time while you're coming in and donating.
I just really wanted to thank you for your donation because y'all do change lives. Y'all really do. And I'm thankful for that.
It's time to ride the White Castle Crave Wave. Turn up the heat with our 100% beef 1921 slider with ghost pepper cheese. It's seared, seasoned, and oh so fire. Then pump the brakes and take a sip of our new shake parfaits. From Oreo cookie to caramel butter cake, it's a classic shake adventure with a twist. The 1921 slider with ghost pepper cheese and new shake parfaits. The ultimate sweet and spicy ride. White Castle, long live sliders.
4 juicy cooked-up order chicken fingers, garlicky buttered Texas toast, crispy crinkle-cut fries, fresh coleslaw, and the secret cane sauce that makes the perfect box combo.
We take pride in doing one thing.
One love, ready to go.
And getting
Bill Otters, nothing. Leading off for Windy City, Paul Kumulos. $1.82 coming to the game. Had a great game last Sunday starting against Lake Erie in that win. His pitch is line looped. It's going to stay towards the shallow grass of the left side. Shortstop made the catch. That's George Khalil. One away here in the bottom of the third.
Get back to the top of the order here with Will Riley. Fly out to center field. Hit on a line to Quiggle. Made the first out of the ball game offensively for the Bolts in the bottom of the first.
Surprise people filtering in here. Good to see on a blistery Windy City night. That's how the franchise likes it. Strike called to Will Riley, who flew out in the center. And he calls for time. The 0-1 count with one guy in the bottom of the third. We're going to try to get some stories from Australia. Come on. We can do better than Australian native. Yeah. That's what I said. As Tim Holdgrafer has his 0-1 decision, it's on the way. It's on the corner of the outside part of the plate called strike. 0-2 to Will Riley. Holdgrafer looks in his mitt, has his pitch. Off the side of the rubber. The 0-2, that's tapped foul by Riley. 2 hits for the Bolts. Jake Boone, the only one to get out of the infield. Robinson beating another infield single. As the Sliders look to get on the board here at the bottom of the third, no score. With one gone, the 0-2 to Riley is on the way. Oh, just missed inside, 1-2. Will's drawn 10 walks. Has a couple RBIs so far, but hasn't had as many reps as some of his teammates. This is just his 15th at bat as he takes this one outside. At least his 14th game start, I beg your pardon. In terms of drawing walks, there's a 3-way tie. Carson Matthews, Will Riley, and Dan Robinson. This one just missing outside, 3-2.
A good discipline here by Riley, working this count full, just like he did in the first at-bat for himself in this ball game when he worked that fly out to center field. He hit that on a 3-2 pitch as well.
Riley, now the second place behind Brent Spillane. His 12th walk earns here in the bottom of the third. A big one with one out, no score. And now Jake Boone is singled into center field. Will make his way to the plate for the Windy City Sliders. And so if you're curious, why Sliders? Well, I want to say it goes with the wrestling, but I don't know if they're related, partner. The post-game wrestling.
I don't believe so. Could be wrong.
Shenanigans. That's crazy.
Been proven
stuff.
wrong before.
Called strike to Boone with one on, one out. No score in the bottom of the third. Hey, they don't tell us anything. They just say call the ball game, you know. Not giving us an out as Boone hits us the shallow center field, but hustling in to make the grab. That ball hung up there. Quiggle. 2 gone here in the bottom of the third with Riley at first. Boone retired. Now the yard card, whoever, I already forget. It's not my yard card.
Varley.
Oh, I'm rooting for Varley because last night was tough.
So unfortunately, because he picked it, it means Brent probably will not hit a home run tonight. But
the wins against Brent.
He could still put something in a gap. He's one of the 2 strikeout victims from Holdgrafer in his first time through the lineup.
No score. Holdgrafer about a second or 2 before that pitch clock. This ball's hanging up here in left field, shallow left field. Eventually called off at shortstop as Khalil makes the grab to the top of the fourth. Still looking for our first run of the game here from Mozinga Field.
Neil Armstrong waited 6 hours and 30
Get right every time. Raising Cane's chicken fingers.
4 juicy cooked-up-order chicken fingers, garlicky buttered Texas toast, crispy crinkle-cut fries, fresh coleslaw, and the secret cane sauce that makes the perfect box combo.
We take pride in doing one thing.
One love, ready to go.
And getting it right every time. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Thank you, Jotham. Back here at Ozinga Field, 3-4-5 due up against the left-hander Adrian Reese. Kona Quiggle hits this one down the left field line. Track over Robinson. He's unable to get it. It's a fair ball in the Bolts pen. Robinson will get it into second. Not before Quiggle trots into second base. It's a stand-up double. First hit of the ball game for Evansville comes to lead off the top of the fourth.
Yeah, and thanks, Jotham, for the report. Is that just fitting into that left field line and pretty close encounter at the wall of Robinson. Lead-off double, first hit of the ball game for the Otters here in business. Lead-off double.
It's a good matchup for Evansville. Now it's the cleanup hitter out in right field, Jeffrey Baez. For the Otters, we've been saying it now. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. For your Windy City Sliders, no runs, 2 hits, no errors. So spotless defense so far from both squads and 3 combined hits in this ball game. Reese at the belt. Here's first pitch to Baez. Showing Bunny gets down the first base line. Reese has to get off the mound and get it. Barehand flip to first. In time. Nice looking play there from Adrian Reese off the mound to retire Baez. Moving to third is Quiggle on the play. 1 down here in the top of the fourth.
No, that could have been. That's where the Otters play small ball. I feel like when you least expect it again from your cleanup hitter with a guy on second, I think it's the last thing you sort of expect. And man, Baez almost a perfect bunt. If it was just down the third base line at all, it would have been an infield hit. But great play by Adrian Reese.
Dakota Phillips now first pitch. Breaking ball from Reese, taken right over the heart of the plate for strike 1. Phillips a left-handed bat. Hitting the 5 spot, was hitting cleanup in both games of the doubleheader. He's 0 for 1. Grounded out 3 unassisted to Mikey Onamine in his only other at bat in the second inning. This one hit on the ground to second. Riley's got it. Quiggle will stay put at third. Huge out number 2 here in the fourth for Adrian Reese. Evansville not able to get that run home on the grounder. Quiggle looked to go. Riley gave him a strong look, though, as he fielded it. 2 outs.
Wow, I was pretty surprised. You know, you see teams that are risk takers, and I know the infield was playing in there, but man, maybe that's just my impulsive nature. But I would have tried. I would have tried to send him there. I know I don't have patience, partner. So I'm working on it. But
Jomar Reyes now taking the first pitch low and inside from Reese for ball 1. The right-handed hitting third baseman Reyes. 3 hits in game 1 yesterday. Had a big double in game 2 as well. 1-0 pitch to him. That one taken low as well. 2-0. Another good matchup for the Otters as they look to push across the first run of game 3 of this series, the finale. The New Jersey Jackals will come into town tomorrow for a 3-game set Friday, Saturday, Sunday here at Ozinga Field. 2-0 pitch. That one misses low and outside as well. 3-0 now on Reyes. Reese trying to pitch around him. Ethan Skender, the right-handed hitting second baseman, awaits on deck, and now we will see Reyes flip the bat over to the first base dugout. He will be intentionally put on. So it'll be runners on the corners with 2 outs now for Skender.
Don't mind that, especially after yesterday.
For Skender, he's 0 for 0 with one plate appearance, has not officially recorded an at-bat in this ball game. He walked with 2 outs back in the second inning. So we'll go down as an intentional walk for Reyes. Runners on the corners. Big spot here for Reese. First pitch to Skender. That one misses low and inside. Nice stop there by Matt Morgan.
Was it ever?
Potentially saving a run there. 1-0 count on Skender. From Illinois. Metamora, Illinois. Was last a part of the Padres organization prior to 2023 here with the Otters. That 1-0 curveball misses low and inside as well. 2-0 now. Reese not thrilled with the call there. Falling behind on another hitter in this frame. No action in the Windy City pen. Still scoreless here at Ozinga Field. The rubber match in this series. Runner does not take off. That 2-0 fastball right over the heart of the plate. Not swinging is Skender. 2-1 on him now. The 7, 8, 9 spots in this Evansville order, all right-handed batters. The shortstop, George Khalil, is on deck. Following him is Viola. That 2-1 delivery misses down low. 3-1 now. Very favorable count here for Skender, partner.
Yeah. 250 average, walked his first appearance. 16 RBIs, a home run. As you mentioned, big pitch for Adrian Reese. Runners to the corners.
Here it comes. 3-1 curveball out of the arsenal from Reese. That one catches the inside corner. Skender thought it was a tad low. Nonetheless, he almost was starting to make that walk down to first base. Count is now full. Runners on the corners. Full count, 2 outs, a 0-0 ball game here in Crestwood, Illinois. The 11-18 Thunderbolts looking to win a series. Evansville 17-12, 5 games over 500. 3-2 pitch. That one gets in and hits Skender. So the bases will be loaded now with 2 outs. 4 set every base. It'll bring up George Khalil.
All our Ozinga faithful getting all wound up for wrestling here post-game. Love it. Love the spirit.
Remember, we've had, like you mentioned, we had that in the doubleheader as Jared Wright makes the trot out to the mound with Matt Morgan. We'll have a mound meeting here. That was after the long doubleheader where it was Tri-City in the morning and a 10:35 game, and then 6:35 at night was Gateway. It was a long day for us, a long day for everyone here at the Yard. The only other Windy City Slider wrestling night we've had here at Ozinga Field this season. So a lot of us will be less tired. Maybe we'll catch some of the wrestling after the game, depending on when we get out of here.
It feels like a Halloween event with, it's just like, because it happens after the game. It's sort of like dark. It's pretty cool. Like, it's pretty wild. I mean, it's like a mini WWE, I want to call it, but I know a lot of people would say, no, it's not. But it's in its own breed, I'll tell you that much, folks.
Big spot here for the Otters. Bases loaded, 2 outs. It'll be the 8-hitter, the shortstop, George Khalil, hitting from the right side, stepping in against Reese. First pitch to him. That breaking ball misses outside for ball 1.
A lot of breaking balls for Adrian Reese.
Yeah, going curveball heavy here in this top of the 4th inning. He's worked 3 scoreless. Does not have a strikeout to his name in this start yet. Here's the 1-0. That one fouled back. This inning, Quiggle led things off with a double down the left field line that just got in. Baez was put down a sack bunt to get Quiggle over to third. Saw an intentional walk, or I should say Dakota Phillips then grounded it out to second. The intentional walk then came for Jomar Reyes after the count worked 3-0. Skender just worked the count full and got hit by a pitch. 1-1, that one hit on the ground over to third. Backhanded by Martina. Throw across the diamond. Dug out by Yonamine. 5-3. What a play. Martina to Yonamine. Adrian Reese gets out of the jam. We're still scoreless heading to the bottom of the 4th here at Ozinga Field.
Celebrate the history of our
The generous gift of these donors in order to make these therapies. We make it safe, fast, and easy.
You're compensated for your time while you're coming in and donating.
I just really wanted to thank you for your donation because y'all do change lives. Y'all really do. And I'm thankful for that.
breaks and take a sip of our new shake parfaits. From Oreo cookie to caramel butter cake, it's a classic shake adventure with a twist. The 1921 slider with ghost pepper cheese and new shake parfaits. The ultimate sweet and spicy ride. White Castle, long live sliders.
Bolts baseball back here, bottom of the fourth inning, still scoreless from Mozinga Field. Andy Aka, Mark Citron on the call. On slider night, 4-5-6 due up for the sliders here in this frame. Junior Martina, after making a tremendous play to keep this game scoreless, and the top of the frame will get a chance to lead things off in the bottom of the frame.
What a play. Speaking of which, Junior Martina in a scoreless ball game at third base, a backed up ground ball, and he had to make the long throw.
First pitch to him, cracked in the air, center field, tracking back Quiggle a couple steps. He'll camp under it and make the grab. One pitch, one out for the right-hander Tim Holgrafer in the bottom of the fourth inning.
The junior telling me a story about playing pro ball. Was a soccer player, really, before he started playing baseball. He was young, I think 9, 10 years of age. The Netherlands, like, how do you get into it? Like, that's how I asked him, and his neighbor said, you got to try this out, like, from soccer, and here we are in Windy City.
Peyton Isaacson stepping in. I'll take a first pitch fastball for strike one. Pretty cool stuff with Martina. We know, talk about the international players on this team. Everyone's got a story to tell, right? But especially those guys with just the much different experiences and their journeys that they had to get here than some of these other guys. Is a big cut and a miss on another fastball from Isaacson. Moves the count 0-2. P.I. grounded out to second to lead things off in the bottom of the second inning. Had 2 doubles yesterday. Both came to lead-off innings. He had one in the bottom of the seventh in game one. Bolts couldn't cash in a walk-off opportunity there as this one misses low and out. Then his first at-bat of game two, I believe it was in the second inning as well, had a lead-off double. Been seeing the ball well, a couple extra base hits in yesterday's doubleheader, looking to carry that over here into the finale of this series. Holgrafer gets the sign, working out of the windup. The 1-2 pitch. That one hit on the ground over to short. Khalil's got it. And will fire across the diamond. Isaacson goes down 6-3, 2 up, 2 down for Holgrafer here in the bottom of the fourth inning.
Just 3 hits in the ball game. I think you mentioned during the break, 8 runs in 3 games?
Yeah, runs, hits, and most importantly, or more specifically, runs have been really hard to come by in this series. Even though we're playing 3 games, it feels so much shorter because Tuesday got canceled. It feels like the Otters were barely in town.
It does.
As I mentioned, the top half of the inning, it'll be the New Jersey Jackals the next 3 days.
Who are on fire, by the way.
Yeah, they're playing really good ball as of late. Yonamine takes first pitch low and inside for ball one, right-handed hitting first baseman for your Bolts. A 2-run long ball early in game 2 yesterday. He fouls this one off. A strikeout victim of Holgrafer, and his only other at-bat in the ball game in the bottom of the second went down swinging. Holgrafer still sits at 2 strikeouts, none for Adrian Reese. Very contact-heavy ball game for both squads so far. 1-1 pitch. That one catches the zone as well. More off-speed stuff there from Holgrafer. Count now 1-2.
Man, that ball.
That backed up. That had good movement on it, Mark.
It did.
He's been throwing that pretty well all day long. Heading the count 1-2. Let's see what he goes with here to Yonamine. The payoff pitch. That one foul tip back. Yonamine staying alive. Count still 1-2.
The Jackals winners of 7 straight, up and on Gateway last I checked, which I know Jotham provided us the out-tap scoreboard. So, again, they're in Gateway looking to sweep the Grizzlies, who are atop the league.
Yeah, Jackals' hottest team in the league right now. They will be making the drive up to Crestwood for tomorrow night's ball game. 1-2 pitch. That one hit hard over to third field on a backhand. Viola throw across the diamond. In time, says first base umpire Kevin Worth. That'll do it. We're through 4 here in Crestwood. Still 0-0 here on the Bolts Media Network.
Thunderbolts baseball on WXAV is being supported by St. Xavier University.
Top of the fifth here at Ozinga Field. 9-1-2 spots due up in the order for the Evansville Otters. Still 0-0. Adrian Reese back out to work for your Windy City Sliders. Andiaka. Mark Citron on the call. Mark, some fun in between inning festivities in front of us just now. The Dizzy Bat Challenge, racing to get the, I believe it was the White Castle box by the third baseline. One guy completely wiped out, probably didn't make it 15 feet.
Three times.
First pitch to Viola's a breaking ball in the outside corner, called strike one.
Good family fun, man.
That's great. There we
Jinx.
go. We're in sync, man. Jinx.
Yeah.
0-1 to Viola. Right back to the breaking ball. Doubling up on it is Reese. That one catches the inside corner. Another called strike. 0-2 now on the Otters' third baseman, Viola. Giving Reyes the day off defensively. He's their designated hitter. We saw him play third in both games yesterday. Swing and a miss. Went elevated fastball up and out. Viola chasing. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. A 3-pitch punch out for Reese. That's his first of the ball game.
Love that out of you. Yeah, first strikeout for Adrian. A scoreless game here at the top of the fifth. 3 hits combined as we hit the top of the order.
It'll be third time through here. It's a left-handed hitting left fielder, Noah Myers. He's 0 for 2 today. First pitch to him. That one catches the inside corner as well. 0-1 on him. Yeah. Reese worked backwards there in sequencing. Breaking ball, fastball up and away to get Viola to chase. As this 0-1 curveball misses low in the dirt. Count evens 1-1 now on Myers. 283 batter on the year coming into today's ball game. 1-1 pitch. Nice looking off speed there from Reese. That one catches the zone as well. A lot of called strikes that he's gotten here in this ball game, especially in the early going in the top of the fifth. 1-2 count. Quickly back to work. Here it comes. That one hit foul down the left field line.
Yeah, no, he's looking pretty smooth. And the only pickles he's gotten himself out of.
We mentioned this is appearance number 10 for him on the season as the 1-2 pitch hit on a line to second. Backhand Riley, he lost it. Regathers, throw to first is not in time. We do not know how that one's going to get scored. That one was hit on a shot there by Myers.
Was hit hard.
It is going to be scored in E4 on Riley. Either way, Evansville has a runner on. Their second base runner of the ball game. Correction, fourth base runner of the ball game. Second one thanks to a ball hit in play. Runner on first, one out. Here's Jacob Olsen. Olsen from the right side. Reese will quick pickoff move to check over on Myers. Yeah, we mentioned for Reese, he's been working out of the bullpen prior to the last week and a half or so, and he's done a really good job out of the bullpen before having to make a start with Henry Omania going on the IL back on June 9th against Lake Erie. Went 6 innings as the first pitch to Olsen is fouled back. 6 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs. 3 of them were earned. He walked 3 and struck out 3 in the loss. But we didn't know what to expect when he got the ball. We didn't know if it was going to be an opener situation where it would be a bullpen day, or if Richie and the coaching staff was going to let him, go as long as he could. And he's carved out a couple of starts here as another pickoff move. That's second to the at-bat on Myers. So next attempt from Reese will have to get him. Otherwise, Noah will be granted second base. Count still 0-1 here on the batter, Jacob Olsen. He's 0 for 2 today as well.
9 for 10.
Pitch to him. Big swing and a miss. Fastball up and out from Reese. He's ahead in the count, 0-2 now. He's a ground ball away from getting the Bolts back into the dugout, and for himself, 5 scoreless. But he's got to get through the top of this Evansville order. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for the Honors. For your Sliders, no runs, 2 hits and an error. On this chilly Thursday night here in Crestwood, Illinois.
So have you been to White Castle before?
I'm not going to lie, I have not, as this 0-2 pitch is fouled back. Never was one near me.
Interesting.
When I was at. I think the closest one was by one of my training facilities growing up. But other than that, there wasn't one super local for me. How about you, partner?
I did not. I can only count probably one time. It was not local, but in New York City, out of all places.
The 0-2 from Reese. Breaking ball hammered in the air to left field. Robinson tracking back just out in front of the warning track. He'll make the grab. Very spry there was Robinson. Going under to make that grab. 2 outs now here in the 5th.
Game still scoreless as Kona Quiggle, one of my favorite names in this league, to the plate.
Yeah, he had that leadoff double just an inning ago. Back to the discussion of food places and chains, though, partner. It's always tough when we talk about, local fast food chains because, you grew up out east. I'm from here, but sometimes, and I forget when asking you about stuff like that, oh, yeah, White Castle, I don't know. You don't know what's around and what's in each area, what's national, what isn't. It's the first pitch to Quiggle, an elevated fastball, hack and a miss.
No, I just know from the movie Harold and Kumar go to White Castle, which, again, I mentioned that Gateway game, and, yeah, that was quite a flick if you haven't seen it.
I was going to say, is it worth a watch?
Yeah, our analytics guy gives it a thumbs up.
There you go.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I took your advice. So we're 1 for 1. I'm batting 1,000 until somebody says,
next road trip, I'm going to have to take you up on it. 0-2 count now on Quiggle. 0-2, 2-outs, runner on first, reset at the belt. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball low in the dirt. Nice stop there by Morgan. 1-2 now.
But I want to say, hey, it's great what they do. And, again, these jerseys the Bolts have, you can bid on them online. All proceeds go into Castle Shares Charity.
1-2 from Reese. Outside corner. Got him looking. Another strikeout for Reese. Second in the inning. Second of the ball game. We head to the bottom of the fifth. Still scoreless here at Ozinga Field.
What is...
Four juicy cooked-up order chicken fingers, garlicky buttered Texas toast, crispy crinkle-cut fries, fresh coleslaw, and the secret cane sauce that makes the perfect box combo.
We take pride in doing one thing.
One love, ready to go.
And getting it right every time. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
It's time to ride the White Castle Crave Wave. Turn up the heat with our 100% beef 1921 slider with ghost pepper cheese. It's seared, seasoned, and oh so fire. Then pump the brakes and take a sip of our new shake parfaits. From Oreo cookie to caramel butter cake, it's a classic shake adventure with a twist. The 1921 slider with ghost pepper cheese and new shake parfaits. The ultimate sweet and spicy ride. White Castle, long live sliders.
Bottom of the fifth here at Ozinga Field. 7, 8, 9 spots due up for your Windy City Sliders, looking to break this scoreless tie. Right-hander Tim Holgrafer back out to work. Dan Robinson set to lead things off for your Bolts. Andy Yacom, Mark Citron on the call here. We'll hear from our very own Patty Cesarini following the bottom of this frame.
What do you think of Adrian Reese so far? I mean, 1 hit through 5.
Couple impressive, yeah. He mentioned no strikeouts prior to the 5th inning, put up 2. Now each starter has 2 in this ballgame. First pitch to Robinson. That one hit up the middle. That'll get through. First pitch, approach, aggressive, swinging from Robinson. He is able to get one through. A multi-hit game for the Bolts left fielder Robinson to start things off here in the bottom of the 5th.
Great to see. Again, that hit last night with 2 outs. Hustling it out. I'm not saying that could turn around, but just fantastic stuff.
It'll be the catcher, Matt Morgan, stepping in now. He flew out to left back in the 2nd inning. He's 0 for 1 today. Bolts looking to get something on the board as we are still scoreless in the bottom of the 5th. Set is Holgrafer. First pitch, runners not go. Swing and a miss from Morgan. Robinson out on first. 3rd hit of the ball game for the Sliders. 4 hits between both teams. As we mentioned, hits and runs have been hard to come by in this series. Long pause from Holgrafer. Got to work with that clock. Was down to 2 seconds before firing a pickoff attempt over to first to check in on Robinson.
How do you adjust so easily to the sliders? I feel like it's taken me a tougher adjustment.
Whatever I'm feeling. Sometimes it's Bolts, sometimes it's Sliders. Both pass on Thursday nights here all summer long at Ozinga Field. Wrestling after the game as well in Crestwood. It's always entertaining. 0-1 pitch. Runner takes off that one. Catches the inside corner for a strike. Throw down to second. Not in time. Ball kicks away from the second baseman. Skender, another stolen bat. Robinson had one last night. He gets one here today.
You know, that means $5 from Raising Cane's to Operation Southwest Chicagoland, courtesy of Raising Cane's. Thank you very much, Daniel Robinson.
Thank you, Dan Robinson. Thank you, Raising Cane's. Just like that, the Bolts have a runner out on second with nobody out. Count 0-2 on Morgan, looking to move the runner over as we get closer to getting to the top of the order in this inning. Hografer, long look at Robinson. 2 seconds on the pitch clock. The delivery is fouled back by Morgan. Do this 0-2 again.
My yard card pick right here for the Sliders.
What a time would it be for Morgan to get his first home run at Ozinga Field. We know he's hit a couple out on the road this year. It's hard to get those in Crestwood. Ball doesn't fly out of here too much, but saw one yesterday with Yonamine in game 2. Hografer set, 2 on the pitch clock, just gets it off again. Swing and a miss.
Well,
went off speed, down low. Third punch out of the ball game for Hografer. Morgan's down for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, that's got some tail to it. Andy, that pitch on the burner down low.
It'll be Paul Koumelos now. Second at bat of the ball game for the Sliders right fielder. We'll get back to the top of the order after him here. Led off the third inning, popping out to the shortstop, Khalil. Robinson out on second with just 1 out in the frame. First pitch to Koumelos. That one hit up the middle, and that one's through for a base hit. Robinson had a late start and will be held at third by Chris Coleman. He had to make sure that line drive got through, and it did. Koumelos keeps the line moving. Runners on the corners with just 1 out.
Better safe than sorry, and can't look behind you. So obviously, it's heads up base running by Daniel Robinson. Very calm, patient young man.
It'll be Will Riley now, the hero from game 2. Last night in the walk-off winner, he's 0 for 1 today. Last trip to the plate, though, drew a full count walk with 1 out in the third. It was a great at-bat. He was down 1-2. Was able to work it full and work the walk from there. First pitch to him, showing bunt. He gets it down. Robinson coming home. He's going to score. Riley's going to get to first safely. Nobody able to field the bunt. Some small ball from the Bolts. They get the first lead of the night. It's 1-0 Windy City.
Wow, that's the first time all year, Andy. A little small ball from big Richie Sexton and the fellas. 1-0 Windy City here in the bottom of the fifth and still in business with runners at first and second.
And everybody's safe. Runners, as you mentioned, Mark, first and second. 2 spot in the order now. It's Jake Boone. Hey, what do we say with Robinson? Did it again. Get him on. Get him over.
Have a sip.
Boom. Get him in. There we go. For Boone, he's 0 for 2, or 1 for 2 on the contest, I should say. Showing bunt again. He gets this one down just foul. Would have been a thing of beauty if that one stayed fair. Count 0-1 on the Bolts shortstop.
All of a sudden, Skip, Richie Sexton, fan of the bunt. I have to ask him in the interview this coming weekend.
Hey, when things aren't going your way offensively, you got to change things up, and whatever it means necessary to get a run across.
Love it.
Boone has a runner out in scoring position. The corner infield, particularly Viola at third, is much more alert now for any bunt opportunities. 0-1 to Boone, not showing bunt. Big swing and a miss. Back to that off-speed stuff there from Hografer. It's 0-2.
Yeah, not going to see that bunt most likely with 2 strikes. Haven't seen that in a major league setting in some time.
Swing away for
Yes,
Jake
sir.
Boone here. Looking for anything close in protect mode, down 0-2. The payoff from Hografer. Check swing in the dirt. Did he go? Yes, says first base umpire Kevin Worth. Boone not too pleased. Second strikeout of the inning for Hografer. 4th on the ball game. 2 down with 2 on now for Brent Spillane.
All right, Varley time, wild card, or yard wild card. Does the bat drag? Yes.
It's tough because I want the Bolts to do well, but I don't want Aiden to punch that yard card. So it's tough here. How about one in the gap where we score 2? I think that's a good compromise. And then Bren gets knocked in by Martina on deck. I feel like that's a good way to pay things off. First pitch to him is popped up. Shallow right center. Who's going to call it? As this one drifts all the way back into the infield. Caught by the second baseman, Skender. The Bolts get the first lead of the ball game with some small ball. An RBI bunt in from Will Riley. We're through 5 here at Ozinga Field. 1-0 is our score. But before we head to the 6th, we have an on-field report once again from our very own Patty Cesarini. Take it away, Patty.
Thanks, guys. After Adrian Reese hit that batter in top of the fourth, he had some words of his own to say to himself, of course, but the Evansville crowd got rowdy, and it goes back to that mindset that Spillane was talking about. Reese let that pressure get to him. He got tense. He started to make a couple errors, and those are just moments where you just want to throw strikes and trust your defense, especially with 2 outs. Have that short memory from yesterday, and they had that going back into top of the 5th. Adrian Reese was able to get back to it. He was getting ahead in a lot of counts. And Will Riley told me earlier, we're going to have to bring it this game. We're in different conditions. It's much colder, and they definitely do need to bring it. And we're starting to see a little bit of light offensively now in that bottom of the 5th inning. Will Riley brought it, driving in a run with an RBI bunt, leading the offensive spark again. And someone who I thought would also bring a little light offensively, and usually does, is Brent Spillane. But he's been struggling today. He's 0 for 3 now, and he said that is just a mindset to him when it comes to being in big positions and having to do things offensively. He likes to actually play a mind game with their pitcher. He looks them dead in the eye as he's sitting in the on-deck circle, and he knows that if that pitcher looks away, he's already won that battle. And I think he needs to kind of get some of that energy back and also help this team get some runs on the board. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Patty. Back up here in the booth, top of the 6th now. Bolts able to get the first run of the ball game, the sliders, we should say, as Mark Citron joins me now. Andy Ockham here, bringing you Bolts baseball season long here on the Windy City Media Network. 4-5-6-2 up for the Otters. Mark, it'll be Jeffrey Baez stepping in to lead off. Adrian Reese back out to work here in the 6th. First pitch to Baez, that one catches the zone, says home plate umpire Dominic Lumbucco.
I might have to go back and see how the Bolts per inning are doing, because this is typically where it's a difference maker.
One pitch smacked into the gap right center. That one down for a hit and much more. Baez hitting the bag at first, rolling all the way to the wall. Spillane gets it in right center. Baez looking for 3. The relay throw to Riley into third. Not in time, backed up by Reese. It's a leadoff triple for Jeffrey Baez. Just like that, the Otters are in business to lead things off in the top of the 6th inning.
Love the crowd reaction, but yeah, again,
big fella can move.
The words of my old hitting coach, he said those gap ones are just the best ones to hit, and there's an example. I always thought a home run was, but you just crush the heck out of a baseball, man.
Exit velo of 103 miles an hour per the analytics in front of us. First pitch breaking ball to Dominic Phillips. That one starts the count off 1-0. Just like that, the Otters have put the tying run out on third base. Long lead for Baez, the 1-0 pitch. This one hit on the ground, second. Riley's got on a hot shot. Will throw to first in time. Run comes in to score regardless. An RBI 4-3 put out for Dakota Phillips. Just like that, we are tied here in the top of the 6th at Ozinga Field.
We've said it before, can't bank on a run, and good for the Bolts, but quick response here in the top of the 6th. 1 down.
It'll be Jomar Reyes now. He's hitless today, 0 for 1, 2 plate appearances, was intentionally walked his last time up in the 4th. First pitch to him. That one hit hard on a breaking ball, through into left field for a base hit. Otters are seeing Reese a lot better now, the 3rd time through the order. Couple hard hit balls here in the top of the 6th. 1 on with 1 out for Ethan Skender.
Yeah, I was going to, again, before that Baez triple, I feel like a lot of Bolt stars have gotten through 6 towards 7 innings, but this is the tacky part right here, and Adrian Reese has been phenomenal all night long. And it was just something to keep an eye on still here with 1 out, 1 on, top of the 6th, tied at 1.
First pitch to Skender, showing bunt, gets it down the first base line. Reese off the mound, fielding, spinning. That one is thrown away. Riley cutting it off in shallow right, getting Reyes trapped, heading to second. The throw back, not in time. Another runner on. It'll be first and second out for the Otters. We're going to wait to see how that's scored for Skender. Still 1 out. Double play ball remains intact for the Sliders, but things are getting a little bit more dicey here in the top of the 6th. And we're getting some bullpen action up now as well. Right-hander Austin Morozes has started throwing, and it will be scored as a base hit.
Yeah, Otters responding with small ball after the Bolts did in the bottom of the 5th, scoring a run on a squeeze.
It'll be the shortstop, George Khalil, hitting from the right side. A pair of 5-3 putouts. Junior Martina had his number all night long. First pitch bunting is clear. That one is fouled down the third base line. He put down a couple of those in the doubleheader yesterday, Mark, and he can fly down the line. So not only is he bunting to move the runners over, he's bunting to get himself on as well. As the 9-hitter Troy Viola waits on deck. Trying to get this thing back to the top of the Evansville order with runners in scoring position is the goal here in this top of the 6th inning as the Otters look to grab the lead for the first time in the finale of this 3-game set. Bolts were able to get out in front in the bottom of the 5th not too long ago, thanks to Will Riley, as this pitch hit in the air to right. Tracking near the line is Kumlos. He's not going to get there. That's a fair ball down the line and will hop over. It'll be a ground rule double for George Khalil. 1 run will come in to score. It'll now be 2nd and 3rd. He doesn't need the bunt, Mark. He's just going to swing away and take care of things himself. 2-1 Otters.
Man, I thought Mother Nature might have a answer on that one with the wind blowing out towards right field, but again, these foul lines so thin. All there is the bullpens, and good piece of hitting opposite field.
It'll be Viola now, hitting in the 9 spot with 2 runners in scoring position. As Morozes is now fully up and throwing in the bullpen, we'll expect to see him as the first man out this evening.
Would love a double play ball. A 2-1 game. I mean, Adrian's pitched a hell of a game. You just don't want to see it again. What, now 4 of the last 5 hitters with a hit after 1 hit through 5 innings for Adrian. So next man up mentality.
Viola, a 188 hitter on the campaign coming into tonight's ball game with an opportunity to extend this Otter lead. Windy City defense in. First pitch, line drive down the third base line. Heads up, Patty and friends down in the camera well. Count will begin 0-1.
Patty looks like she's in an igloo.
Yeah, it's a cold one here tonight. 56 degrees on our scoreboard here at Ozinga Field. Bolts looking to limit the damage here. It's 2-1. Infield still in. 0-1 pitch. This one breaking ball cracked in the air to right field. Kumalos tracking, getting behind it, makes the grab. Runner tagging. Throw into the plate is not in time. It'll be a sacrifice fly for Troy Viola. It's 3-1 Otters.
Runner to third, so still in business, Evansville. The top of the 6th.
Skender comes in to score on that sac fly. You mentioned it. Khalil advancing to third as well. Good base running there for him. And it's back to the top of the order. 4th time through now for Reese. Lefty on lefty matchup here. It's Noah Myers. He reached on an error by Will Riley just an inning ago back in the 5th. With another run just 90 feet away. Reese set at the belt. First pitch to him. That one misses up and in, nearly hitting him. Count will begin 1-0. You would anticipate if Reese is able to get Myers out here, this will be end of the road. But a tough one as he went 5 scoreless. It was a 1-0 game coming into this top of the 6th, and now a 3 spot put up by Evansville. This one hit sharply on the ground to second to a knee. Riley losing it this time as well. The throw takes him off the bag. Another run will come in to score. It's now 4-1 Evansville.
Second error of the inning for Riley, unfortunately, cost the Bolts big run. 4-1 Evansville.
It's a tough break there for Reese. He's been getting those ground balls. This one would have gotten him out of the inning and limited the damage. 3-1 as Richie Sexton will make the trip out to the mound. We'll get a pitching change with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. 4-1 our score in favor of Evansville. Austin Morozes coming into the ball game. We'll be back in just a minute on the Bolts Media Network.
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness?
is at third. 2 have come across in the inning for the
Back here at Ozinga Field, still in the top of the 6th inning, a current 4 spot put up by the Evansville Otters. A pitching change, Adrian Reese out, Austin Morozis in, Andy Ockham, and Mark Citron on the call. Partner, this is appearance number 5 on the campaign for Morozis. He's thrown 5 innings so far, an 0-1 record. All out of the bullpen, a 12.6 ERA with a strikeout to his name. Was originally supposed to be a part of that rotation to start the season. Was going to be the number 3 guy, was set to start the finale against Schaumburg, had some setbacks, was put on the injured list, and has since been out in the bullpen. Runner takes off on the first pitch to Olson. Throw down to second is way high by Morgan and into center field. Another runner in scoring position for the Otters just like that.
So is that a stolen bag there for Khalil? Or,
Indeed.
sorry, I'm jumping ahead here.
Khalil was the last of the 4 runs to score in this inning. He came in on a sacrifice fly from the 9-hitter Troy Viola.
I have something.
Or correction, he came in on the Myers air that he hit into over to Will Riley at second base. Runner taking off again. Morgan up with it. Throw to third. That one's not in time either. Another stolen bag from Myers. Count now 1-1 on the batter, Olson.
11 for 12 this season now. Yeah, I'm surprised because we've seen him on base before, and he was pretty conservative. And now they're calling him back, Andy, like last night.
This happened again yesterday, and we're unsure what the deal is.
I think is
it something with the pitch clock?
I think something. We were talking about this today, Evansville broadcaster and I. But I want to say we both reached a consensus where it was a pitching thing. It wasn't a balk, but it was. I think it was wild. It doesn't have an answer, honestly, but
1-1 pitch to Olson, fastball missing low and inside.
They called it back, yeah, because you get a balk, you get the free run or route. But again, it was something where the pitcher was lined up. I'm not sure if it was. I have no idea. It didn't make sense to me.
Count 2-1 pitch from Morozis. Went off speed there, missing low and outside. Nice stop there by Morgan. 3-1 the count now on Olson, who's hitless today. Griffin's been great, the Evansville broadcaster. We will see him again, and we'll see the Otters again as well in the beginning of August. Be one of the first 2 series, midweek action. They'll be back. No, Mark, you still got to make a couple of trips.
I was going to say.
One more trip to Evansville. At least this one hit on the ground, hard over to third. Martina ranging to his left. Throw high, pulls Micah Yodomine off the bag. And another run will come in to score. I do believe we're going to wait on the ruling. That one did hit the backing of the dugout for Evansville. It was a high throw by Martina. Another error for this Bolts defense. And I believe Myers is going to be able to come around and score on that. We're going to have a meeting between the 3 umpires to confirm, but it's been the Bolts defense. A tough look. Second error of the inning, third of the ball game. And it is now 5-1 Evansville.
Yeah, no, pretty. And for Junior, I think that's his first home error all year. He had a couple on the road in the miserable New York series, which he'd throw in the trash. But besides that, he's been squeaky clean. And, again, it just shows how he's a perfect human being. Can't be perfect all the time, and just tough, costing the Bolts here.
Olson advances to second on that ball out of play as well. First pitch to the 3-hitter Kona Quiggle misses out for ball 1.
Or sliders, I should say.
A 5-run inning now for the visitors, Evansville. They're looking to take this series. The rubber match, both teams took a game yesterday. Each team walked one another off, which is something you don't see often. 1-0 pitch. This one hit hard and through into right center field for a base hit. Spillane will be there to cut it off. Quiggle will stop at first. Olson in to score. It's now a 6-run frame. Everyone has been up to the plate now for Evansville. An RBI knock for Kona Quiggle, 6-1.
Walks and errors kill you, and this is what I mean by kill. It's just more and more and more, and where it should have been probably, 3 out of here at 3-1. It's now doubled at 6-1 Evansville. Still going in the top of the 6.
It'll be Jeffrey Baez. He led this inning off with that triple into the right center gap. It seems like so long ago. He's now up again with 2 outs facing the right-hander Morozis. Set at the belt, gets signed. First pitch to him. Originally showing bunt. Pulls that one back on the off speed. That misses out. 1-0 count. Waiting on deck, Dakota Phillips. The RBI ground out to bring in Baez that tied this game up at 1 since the floodgates have opened. As the 1-0 to Baez is found back and out of play count, evens 1-1 on him now.
Some Mozinga fans having a good time.
Yeah, and Evansville travels well. We've been told that in terms of fan bases, theirs is one of the more passionate in this league. And we've seen that on full display in this shortened series. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss on a slider, getting him to chase. Nice looking pitch there by Morosis. Count 1-2 now. Out on first is Quiggle. Baez in the box. Prior to this triple to start the inning off was hitless in the ballgame. 1-2 pitch, runner takes off. That one misses low. Throw down to second from Morgan. That one hit Quiggle. Ooh. Unable to haul it in there was Will Riley. Hopefully Quiggle is all right as third base coach for Evansville trots out to check in on him. It will be a stolen base for Quiggle. Yet another in this inning for Evansville. Count now 2-2 on the batter, Baez.
Matt Morgan upset behind home plate. I thought he bumped into the umpire, actually. I thought I was seeing things, but he's verbally upset here.
He's having a long conversation with Dominic Longbucho. Now we see Richie Sexton out of the dugout as well. Matt's being very respectful about a call. The umpire takes his mask off now. If you're just joining us, it's a 6-run inning for Evansville. Bolts were up 1-0 through 5. In the bottom of the 5th inning, Will Riley played some small ball, was able to bunt a run home. But that has since been erased, and the Otters are in full control.
Wow. It's been a miserable half, yeah, to say the least. Hey, post-game wrestling as well after the game. Presented by White Castle.
2-2 count, 2 outs. The pitch from Morosis. This one fouled back. Still 2-2, 6 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Otters for your Sliders. 1 run, 5 hits, 3 errors, 2 of them coming here in this inning. Adrian Reese, after throwing 5 scoreless, was chased out of the ballgame. Morosis in now. The 2-2 pitch to Baez. This one popped in the air down the first base line. Yonamine giving chase. That one will get out of play foul. A souvenir for a lucky Thunderbolt fan.
Morosis battling hard. Six-1 Otters.
Waiting on deck is Phillips, the catcher. He's hitless today as well, but with an RBI that tied this game up earlier in the inning. 2-2 once again. This one lined into right field. That one's down for a base hit. Getting the waiver out third is Quiggle. Kumalos's throw home is cut off by Yonamine. Run will score, but Baez is caught in a rundown. He seems to not care at all. 7 runs put up by the Otters. Big inning for them. 7-1 our score. We head to the bottom of the 6th here at Mozinga Field. You're listening to Thunderbolts Baseball here on the Windy City Media Network.
This broadcast is partially underwritten by St. Xavier University. St. Xavier's Graham School of Management is accredited by the Association to Advance Collegiate School.
My name is Shay, and I have a condition that I take a medication that's made out of human plasma.
Hi, Shay. Welcome to BioLife. We take the generous gift of these donors in order to make these therapies. We make it safe, fast, and easy.
You know, you're compensated for your time while you're coming in and donating.
I just really wanted to thank you for your donation because y'all do change lives. Y'all really do. And I'm thankful for that.
It's time to ride the White Castle Crave wave. Turn up the heat with our 100% beef 1921 slider with ghost pepper cheese. It's seared, seasoned, and oh so fire. Then pump the brakes and take a sip of our new shake parfaits. From Oreo cookie to caramel butter cake, it's a classic shake adventure with a twist. The 1921 slider with ghost pepper cheese and new shake parfaits. The ultimate sweet and spicy ride. White Castle, long live sliders.
Sixth here at Ozinga
Baseball
Field.
Hall of Fame induction weekend
Junior
in
Martinez
Cooperstown is an
stepping in now
unforgettable
is-
experience filled with family
Wow, I almost lost
activities
count.
and priceless
Andy.
moments.
Yeah,
Seven
I was
run
gonna say
inning
Today for July 21st
for
through the
the
24th
Honors.
for the induction of Fred
And the
McGriff
extra
and
point is
Scott
good.
Roman as the class of 2023.
Rocks and airs.
Visit
Have a sip. Please have fun
baseballhall.org today for
responsibly.
the
I know I
entire
mentioned a couple
schedule.
times.
See you in Cooperstown,
Killer.
Pitch
where the
Martinez
journey
showing bunt on
becomes
the
legend.
right-hander. Holgrafer still into the ball game in the bottom of the sixth. You're just joining us. The Bolts, known as the Sliders tonight, got out in front in the fifth, but that was short-lived. A huge 7-run inning for the Otters. The story to this point, another bunt shown on an off-speed delivery. Martino pulls back, does catch the outside corner. 1-1 count on him now. 7 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Otters. 1 run, 5 hits, 3 errors for your Bolts. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss right back to that off-speed there from Holdgrafer. 1-2 count now. It's Richie Sexton, this coaching staff are going to have to piece together the final 3 innings of this ball game from the Windy City Pen partner.
Yeah, Austin, he threw 2 pretty solid innings. It was June 9th, I wanted to say, because he had a tough go in New York, and he only lasted a third, but he rebounded just 1 bad pitch, ended up as a home run, but in 2 innings, just surrendered 1 earned run, had a strikeout, and he's in relief right now. I wanted to see what that'll look like, and we will for 3 more halves at least.
Count is now full. A couple pitches missing low in the dirt on Martinez. Been able to work this count back up. Bolts need base runners, and they need a plethora of them. This pitch fouled out of play. Down by the right side onto that Glenmark sign by the concourse. The Let's Go Bolts chance breaking out now.
It's crazy because we were all excited after that 1-0 first run. It was
huge momentum grabber.
3 hits through 5 total, I think, and then all of a sudden 4 out of 5, 5 out of 6 Otters to hit.
Pitch, that one fouled back. We said runs, hits, but especially runs were hard to come by in this series when we were working through all those scoreless frames. Back to it was trading goose eggs where the pitchers Holdgrafer and Reese back and forth.
So here,
through the top of the fifth.
Sorry to cut you off, partner, but I think this stat sort of aligns with the Bolts. And when Baez tripled, I was trying to get there, and we'll get to it. 7-1 now, but
3-2 to Martino. That one misses inside on the off-speed stuff. Good at bat from Martino. We mentioned the Bolts need base runners, and they need a lot of them. That's a good start.
It is. And finishing off my thought, when the Bolts lead after 6, they're 8-4. After 7, 10-2. 9, 8-1. When they're trailing after 6, 1-12 after 7, 0-15 after 8, 0-16. So it shows you the separation right there. And that's where, again, I mentioned the top of the 6, a 7 spot for Evansville. But it's just sort of been you can tell what kind of night you're getting out of this team. And it was a tough spot there at the top of the 6. But it's interesting, man.
Yeah.
It's a little interesting.
Count 0-1 on Peyton Isaacson. He's 0-2 with a pair of groundouts today. Mentioned had those 2 doubles yesterday, 1 in each game of the doubleheader. It's the 0-1 from Holdgrafer. Here it comes. Big cut and a miss. 90-mile-an-hour fastball in the outer third. Swinging right through it there was P.I. Count 0-2 on him now.
And I'm not much of a stats guy, but when I think that there's something there. And what this team needs, and I don't know if it's tonight, the Sliders, or if it's the Bolts, but eventually a comeback win after 7 innings.
0-2 the count on the Bolts' designated hitter. That's Peyton Isaacson. Grafer gets the sign. Take a quick check over on the runner at first, Martina. Phillips has been behind the plate for 2 of the 3 games in this series. He's the one calling the shots for Holdgrafer today. He got game 1 yesterday. Game 2 was out at first base. It was the backup catcher, Jake Green, took over those duties, and he's back here behind the plate today. Couple nods from Holdgrafer. Pitch clock at 6. The 0-2 delivery. Fastball just missing outside. It's now 1-2. Now you got their schedule pulled up, partner. Where are the Otters heading after tonight?
They got Gateway going to back home for some Grizzly fun.
So they're swapping places with the Jackals.
Yeah.
That's what you're telling me. All right. 1-2 pitch. Outside corner. Just missed as well. Great eye from Isaacson. Staying disciplined. He works this count back even at 2-2. Got Robinson on deck. He's got 2 of the 5 slider hits today and has scored the lone run. It would be nice to have him up with a couple runners on and nobody out. Holdgrave first set near the letters. Deep breath. Here's the pitch. Runner takes off. That one misses low and outside. Throw down to second. Did Martinez stay on the bag? Yes, he did. Another stolen base for the Bolts. Third of the ball game. This one coming from Junior Martina. Count now full on Isaacson with a runner on second.
And you know what that means? $5 from Raising Cane's to operation of Southwest Chicagoland. Operation Blessing of the Southwest Chicagoland. Thank you, Junior. Thank you, Raising Cane's.
It'll be Isaacson working a full count. Trying to find his way on by any means necessary. The Bolts need a lot of base runners to try and chip back into this lead. Don't have to get it all back at once. 3-2 pitch. That one fouled right ahead of us. Count will remain full.
Waiting for it to roll on the equipment.
You can hear it thumping up on the roof. Couple of great at-bats. Martinez walk. He worked that count full. Fouled the pitch off in that one as well. Isaacson's done the same up to this point. We see Griffin looking over from the Evansville booth. He's waiting for the ball as well. Good stuff, man. You gotta love it here at the yard. 3-2 pitch. Oh. This one is roped foul. Way out in front was Isaacson. He crushed that one down the right field line into the parking lot. Still 3-2.
Yeah, PI. Character. Still haven't asked about that bat song.
There you go.
Oh, next trip in Canada for sure. A lot of town.
You have a lot of time up north. The neighbors up north. Ottawa, Quebec.
It's going to be fun.
6 games. 3-2 pitch once again. This one,
wow.
Hit on a hop to third. Nice sliding grab by Viola. Throw across the diamond in plenty of time. What a play made there by Troy Viola for the first out of the inning.
Man, this 6th, we've had some fast games, including Sunday at $147, but this 6th is taking almost, man. I want to say, like, the amount of time it took through 5 innings, but obviously that's not true, but a long time, Parker.
It'll be Micah Unamine now. He's hitless today as well. Strikeout back in the second. Tough hopper over to third. Viola making the play on him to retire the side in the fourth. Takes a first pitch breaking ball low and outside of the left-handed batter's box for ball 1. As we mentioned, Unamine in the 6th spot. He began the year in either the 3 or the 4 spot in the order. Hitting cleanup, hitting third, whatever it may be. He's worked down a couple spots, and it's been to his benefit. He's been seeing the ball a lot better over the last week and a half or so. Long look at second on Martinez. Holdgrave for this one. Chopped slowly down the third base line, fielded by Viola, but that one is foul, so Michael will have to retreat back to the box. Count evens 1-1 on him. 243 hitter is Unamine coming into the ballgame. 2 homers, one of them coming yesterday. 11 RBIs, 5 walks drawn by the first baseman on the campaign. Former Philadelphia Philly farmhand.
Yeah, Clearwater guy. Threshers in single A, high A. I remember the days where they didn't even have high or low A. I mean, it was 1, 2, 3 big leagues. It's that easy. I mean, it's got to be tough for these guys.
Low A, it goes low A to high A to double A to triple A. To the show. Got rookie ball sprinkled in there as well. 1-1 pitch, here it comes. Big swing and a miss, right back to the off speed. It's that slider from Holdgrafer that's been working out so well for him today. He's thrown 5 1/3 innings of 1-run ball. That Otters pen, nobody up and moving, a huge 6-run lead. Mentality for the manager, Andy McCauley's got to be to let him go till the wheels fall off. Count 1-2, a 2-strike count. Unamine got to be ready for anything close. Here it comes. This one lofted in right center. That one's going to get down for a base hit. Martina getting the wave around from third. He'll come in to score easily. An RBI single for Mikey Unamine. It's now 7-2.
Vuvuzuela out and about RBI for the Honolulu kid, Mikey Unamine, 7-2 honors here in the bottom of the 6th.
That'll bring up Dan Robinson, a multi-hit game for him. An infield single that he was able to beat out back in the second inning. Led off the 5th, which seems like it was forever ago. It was just an inning ago. Led that off with a base hit up the middle. Stole a base. Came around to score on that Paul Kumulos. I shouldn't say not Kumulos RBI single, but on that Will Riley bunt. How can we forget? He's looking to get his 3rd hit of the ball game here. First pitch to him. That one catches the inside corner for a called strike 1. Out on first is Yonamine. Morgan awaiting on deck. Robinson in the box now, playing left field today for the Bolts. 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball outside corner. Backdoor slider gets it to land there for Holdgrafer. Now 0-2 Robinson well in the hole now. They have to choke up and go after anything close. There's no action in the Bolts pen, so you have to assume this is Austin Moroses' game for the time being. He came in to relieve Adrian Reese during that 7-run frame as the 0-2 delivery is a fastball missing inside for ball 1.
Well, we got a lot of more fun from Mozinga Field this weekend. We'll dive into it a little bit as this game evolves. But, I mean, Friday combo special, last call, 2 upper-level seats, 2 hot dogs, 2 beer, soda, or waters for just $23. Must be purchased, though, before the day of the game. So last call, folks.
1-2 pitch to Robinson. This one fouled back. Yeah, you can't beat that, Mark. Great deal come out to the park. Sure, it'll be a lovely Friday night. You get to see the Bolts, and you get to see the hottest team of the Frontier League right now with the New Jersey Jackals coming into town from the East Division.
Fireworks and a koozie giveaway, can koozie giveaway tomorrow.
All right.
Presented by Julie Inc.
Can have it all here at the Yard tomorrow night as we're going to pick off move to check in on Yonamine.
Going home happy, full, for fireworks, fun. Bolts winner, maybe a Thunderbolt dinner.
That would put a bow on everything, right? Count still 1-2 here on Robinson. The Bolts have scored a run in each of the last 2 innings. The payoff pitch from Holdgrafer gets the side a couple nods. Here it comes. This one looped down the left field line. That one will be just foul.
I got to say, though, Jackals, I think, got my favorite. That's my useless opinion logo.
It's a cool logo. It's a cool name, too. I like the name. I will say I can get behind the name.
Yeah.
It'll be a fun color matchup, too. Bolts, they're wearing the slider uniforms tonight, but they'll be bringing their home whites this weekend. Jackals colors red, black, and white, so it'll be a cool mix-up for sure. 1-2 pitch once again to Robinson. This one popped in the air down the left field line. Will it stay and play for Viola? No, it will not. It finds the seats. Good fight here from Dan Robinson's fouled a few off during this 1-2 count. It'll still be 1-2 on him. So he's taking his time retrieving his bat to get back into the batter's box.
Like, if I were dressing up for Halloween, I think I'd want to be this jackal. Like, it looks scary, fierce, intense, passionate,
keep
hungry.
it on the back burner for this year, Mark. Halloween is I know we had Friday night, I guess, Halloween-ish at the park just a couple weeks ago, so it's unfortunate that idea didn't come to you then, but hey, it's not too far around the corner. It is a little bit, but it's never too early to start thinking. 1-2 pitch, that one fouled back as well. Look at Robinson.
Yeah.
Put together some really good at-bats here tonight, this one as well, despite still being down to the count 1-2. He's fouled the last 4 pitches off from the right-hander Holdgrafer. Really trying to get manager Andy McCulley to tap into that bullpen with this 5-run lead. Yonamine still out on first, couple-step leadoff. Olsen holding him on. Here's the 1-2 once again. Breaking ball. Ooh. That one just missed the outside corner. Trying to go back to that backdoor slider there was Holdgrafer. Robinson doesn't bite. It's now 2-2.
Yeah, he's got such good patience and a great eye.
Count 2-2, 1 out. Bolts trailing by 5, looking to chip away at this deficit. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Down low and out. More off-speed stuff there from Holdgrafer. Strikeout number 5 for him on the campaign. A strong fight from Robinson, but ultimately goes down swinging.
Man, one at bat. It's tough to see him go down like that, but got to give Tim Holdgrafer credit. Haven't even said his word. You've been on the play-by-play, man, for a while, Andy. How's it feel to get the pipes back up here?
Getting them going.
Yeah, this inning will do it for you.
Still ready for this 3-game set this weekend. It's Morgan in the box now with 2 outs and a runner on. First pitch to him, misses low and inside.
7th spot if you're just tuning in for the Otters in the top of the 6th, 7-2 as they lead it with 2 outs. Yonamine singling at first.
An RBI knock for Micah. Another run driven home for him this season. Count 1-0 on Morgan, looking to extend the frame. That fastball misses out. 2-0 now. The 9-hitter Koumalos awaits on deck. He's got a base hit today. If Windy City can get this thing back to the top of the order in the bottom of the 6th inning, they could be cooking with some gas. Yonamine still a couple steps off first. 2-0 from Holdgrafer. Big cut and a miss. 2-0 slider. How about that?
Fold Matt. My yard card pick.
Didn't even feel like we didn't even really go over the yard cards. I know Aiden's got Bren. We've mentioned that about 80 times. I got Peyton Isaacson. Patty has Micah. And yes, you have Mr. Matt Morgan. 2-1 pitch. This one cracked in the air to left. That'll get down for a base hit. Yonomine will move up 90 feet to second base. How about that? Matt Morgan, a 2-1 fastball taken into left field. He extends this inning.
I'll take it. Next man up. Finally, the Otters getting up in their bullpen, by the way, too.
How the ball flies at this stadium, Mark, we may need to invent like a base hit card or something.
Like a Baez card, triple. I should have a triple one for a bonus.
An extra base hit card, a multi-hit card. Make all the cards as we'll get a mound visit here. Full infield with a member of the Otters staff. Runners on first and second for Paul Koumelos. If you're just joining us, looking at the line out in front of us, the Otters 7 runs, 7 hits, no errors. The Bolts 2 runs. They also have 7 hits, but 3 errors. That has been the Achilles heel for them here today, Mark.
And for a team that's been so, I'd say, above average all year long, fielding, they were in the top 3 for a while there most of the season, but it's going to happen. Unfortunately, a couple at second, no scapegoats. But, again, if you want to play coulda, shoulda, woulda, the Bolts, that ground ball from Riley with 2 outs, a 3-1 game, but that's where I always say they just absolutely kill you through the errors and walks.
First pitch to Koumelos, off speed missing, down low for ball 1. Left-handed bat is Koumelos, who's mentioned from Spring Hill, Florida, St. Leo University, so classified as a rookie here in the Frontier League. Really his first time away from home. It's the 1-0 delivery. That one does catch the zone, doubling up on the sliders. There is Holdgrafer still sticking strong in this ball game. He's thrown a lot of pitches here so far tonight. 92 to be exact coming into this bat, so make it 94 now on Koumelos.
I feel like it's more, but yeah.
Right? I feel like it had to have been more, but still under the century mark is the right-hander. Deep breath, here's the 1-1. That one misses low and out as well. 3 straight breaking balls going off speed as Holdgrafer. Koumelos ahead in the count, 2-1. Going to look for something to drive here. Anything in the gap could potentially cut this deficit down to 3 for the Sliders. 2-1 pitch. This one hit on the ground sharply over to first. Olsen's got it. Will take it to the bag. 3 unassisted. Bolts strand 2 are able to get one back. They're still down 7-2 here at Ozinga Field as we head to the top of the 7th inning on the Bolts Media Network.
The National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum in Cooperstown.
Four juicy cooked-up order chicken fingers, garlicky buttered Texas toast, crispy crinkle-cut fries, fresh coleslaw, and the secret cane sauce that makes the perfect box combo.
We take pride in doing one thing.
One love, ready to go.
And getting it right every time. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
My name is Shay, and I have a condition that I take a medication that's made out of human plasma.
Hi, Shay. Welcome to BioLife. We take the generous gift of these donors in order to make these therapies. We make it safe, fast, and easy.
You know, you're compensated for your time while you're coming in and donating.
I just really wanted to thank you for your donation because y'all do change lives. Y'all really do. And I'm thankful for that.
Four juicy cooked-up order chicken fingers, garlicky buttered Texas toast, crispy crinkle-cut fries, fresh coleslaw, and the secret cane sauce that makes the perfect box combo.
We take pride in doing one thing.
One love, ready to go.
And getting it right every time. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
assigned to Dakota Phillips here on the top of the 7th. Well, Aiden, what are your thoughts on the ball game? Obviously, the Airs crushing the Bolts, but
Airs are crushing the Bolts, and I like to see that the Thunderbolts are also getting some offense. I mean, they do have 7 hits, so that's a positive that they're starting to get consistent hitting. Not necessarily on the runs board, but I think it's just seeing some at-bats come alive is good to see right now. Other than that, it's just leaving Reese in maybe for a little too long hurt the Bolts. I mean, he had a great outing until the top of the 7th, so.
A couple pitches miss from Austin Morosis here in the top of the 7th to Phillips. 3-0 the count as Morosis has his decision here, and it's on the outside corner called strike. Dakota has an RBI on a ground out to Will Riley. It's seconds. 0 for 3 on the evening. Grounded out in the 4th as well. 3-1 from Morosis. That's down low and fouled off. Full count now. And for me, I'm looking at opportunities like guys like Austin, who can't believe it. I believe his 5th appearance this year. Tonight, I know he got off to a tardy start this year, but this is where these innings matter for a guy like this, who I mentioned the 2 innings, 1 home run allowed in Lake Erie, but looked pretty good. Control is good, and so curious to see how he finishes here. 3-2. On the corner, called strike 3. Take a seat, Dakota Phillips. 1 away in the top of the 7th. 7-2 Evansville.
Roses was able to climb out of that early 3-0 count. Nice fastball right in the lower half of the strike zone.
Jamar Reyes to the plate. He's been excellent this series. 1 for 3 this evening. Actually, 1 for 2. He walked, singled as he takes this one on the outer half, ball 1. Designated here, 327 average coming into this one. As I was trying to say earlier, I had some autograph collector trying to approach Mr. Reyes before the game. Some bold stuff as he fouls it off. And for Reyes, don't believe, to my knowledge, any big league action, but it's cool that he's got his card out somewhere.
Maybe it was a guy trying to put it on eBay. Either that or he's just really looking for a nice little signature.
2-1, it's 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Yeah, the highest he's gotten is high A for Jamar Reyes. Still pro ball, but fouls this one off 2-2. It's interesting what he get around, this league. I know Bolt skip Richie Sexton gets at least some questions from some fans when we travel. But he's got 307 big league career dingers for Richie, to say the least. But those sports cards are making a turn back here in this virtual world. This is Swan, hit the center fields. Brent Spillane's had a quiet night. Will move about a step, a peep, make the grab 2-away here in the top of the 7th. 7-2 Otters. Now Ethan Skender, he singled. Unfortunately had a ball drilled into him in the top of the 4th. Adrian Reese, man, I feel like for these bold starters, there's been about a chunk of them, including Reese here tonight, where they've thrown great games, right? And it's just on a sour note. You know, they leave the ball games. This one misses 1-0 with 2 outs.
A few errors, costly errors that really did not help Reese today in the top of the 6th.
No, there's some stuff on that road trip. There was a lot of stuff like that kind of happened where the score didn't really indicate the game. I mean, this one's called strike 1-1 to Ethan Skender. And then the detail stuff just adds up. But some of the scores lopsided, I'd say. Like, there was a game in Evansville I thought that was pretty competitive. The first meeting between these two was, I believe, a 9-4 loss. And said he went the first plate umpire here on a appeal from Matt Morgan on the first base on Ethan Skender, 1-2. The count, 2 outs, 7-2 Otters here in the top of the 7th.
I always say that I always never like special jerseys because I feel like all my teams just like end up not playing well. Like they had a rough outing against Gateway, 14-3 in these. So that was strike 3 for a third out.
Beautiful. Well, we'll pause on that thought, partner, as the Bolts looking for some rally caps, at least 5 of them, down by 5. Stretch time here from Ozinga Field. 7-2 Otters. Bottom of the 7th we come.
Let me hear ya!
Thunderbolt baseball. 7-2 Otters here tonight. Still 9 outs for the Bolts in the bottom of the 7th. Wow, the wind is fiercely blowing in some bitterly cold air as Chris Coleman, third base coach, looks like he's about to go to Antarctica. The third base side, he's got multiple layers on. And new pitcher James Crick fires first pitch strike here to Will Riley.
Crick has had 11 appearances with 14 2/3 innings pitched with a 1.84 ERA with 13 strikeouts.
Beautiful. As Aiden Varley, my color analyst here, at least I think he got an extra inning as a called strike, a 0-2 count to Riley here in the bottom of the 7th.
Extra inning on color, yeah.
So we left off with your jerseys. You said you had some bad luck with alternates.
Yeah, especially since I'm from New York, as a Rangers fan, they never play well in the Liberty jerseys. Like they never play in good in their alternate jerseys. So it's just like that reminds me of that these special jerseys, sometimes you don't perform in them. They look cool, but you don't play well in them.
All right. Well, Riley looks at a called strike, 3 sliders. Oh, that's so hard. I love how you can tell different of a broadcast. Not really, but Andy Yakum, he's pretty smooth with the slider, getting it down, but I'm just like, nah, Thunderbolts. I guess when you're used to calling him for 30 games, this one misses from Crick to Jake Boone, who's got a single, 1 for 3 tonight. Bolts down by 5 here in the bottom of the 7th and 1 gone. Not a cop-out for me. It's just, hey, just used to saying Bolts. I liked it. Somebody said T-Bolts last trip, and I don't know how I haven't used that. Just guess easier to say Bolts. Pitch inside to Boone, 2-0. Cranks this one deep to right as that ball tailing and caught. It looked like a no wave type of catch there and right by Baez. Interesting.
The wind definitely carried that one. He looked certain, and then all of a sudden he had to make an unorthodox catch.
Yeah, both hands kind of coming up like a burpee, if you will. Just jumping to make that catch. 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th. 7-2 Otters for Brent Spillane. Oh, your yard card. Now I'm going to be on your side and say, how about you spank one here out of the park, Bren? Because the Bolts need anything they can get.
I know Andy's
called strike.
Really rooting against me here to see if I can go.
That'd be great
without hitting it. So I'm praying.
Hey, if
one positive that I hit the yard card today.
If you guys listen to the away, I know it's harder, but Meridex or whatever it might be, the radio here, WXAV fouled off 0-2 displaying, but I try to play on the road, and if you are able to pull one off, you know, you pull ahead, and I know Aiden Patty would probably protest, but at that point it's shut down here from the main play-by-play. I'd say, no, if you pull at a yard card and you're playing, text the group. If not, then you're with me. As Spillane on a 0-2 with 2 outs at the bottom of the 7th. Otters were certain that was a called strike 3, but not the case. 1-2 outside. 7-2 Evansville here in the bottom of the 7th. 7th spot for the Otters in the 6th. This one downstairs as Holdgrave for his final line. 6 innings of work, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 Ks. More than a quality start for him. Yeah, again, I know Andy mentioned 94 pitches. 96 they say he finishes with 69 strikes, but I thought he pitched more. It's wild. I mean, it doesn't matter what we think. Is this one down low, 3-2 to Spillane. Adrian Reese goes 5 2/3, 5 runs, but 3 of those earned, and so for him, yeah, he was great. But a few errors tonight for the Bolts, who entered the contest 0.4 percentage points, at least behind Evansville in fielding. And you might not think that means much as Brent Spillane, a check swing did not go. He takes a free pass here with 2 outs down by 5. But those 0.4 points jump in the standings from 3rd in fielding to 9th. So, again, it's sort of like that stat I delivered with leading after 6, trailing after 6, 7, 8. There seems to be a bit of separation and correlation in those stats. And I'm not a stats guy, but it just tells you, okay, this is the difference between an elite team fielding or a team that's going to make some sloppy mistakes. And we talk about is this is a pass ball from Crick. Spillane to second. Bolts try to chip away at this 5-run deficit, and as Junior Martino to the plate. But
I feel like the Bolts have been relatively good defensively, especially at home. We were here majority of a 2.5, 3 weeks. So they were very good defensively, and then they go on the road, and you could tell they started to struggle more. And we did see Richie during batting practice really trying to focus on those fielding errors that they were making and trying to clean it up today.
Well, James Crick having a tough time nailing the strike zone. 2-0 to Martino with 2 outs. Crick.
Junior Martino is 1 for 3 today. Oh, sorry, no. 0 for 2 today with the walk in the 6th.
220 pounds, 6'5". He misses 3-0. Evansville's got a couple guys with their hands in their pockets in the pen jumping around to keep warm here on Sliders Wrestling Night. After the game, it gets rowdy down there. I wish we could have a video. Hopefully we'll have something posted because the clown guy scared me last time. That's a 4-pitch walk. I wouldn't say scared me, but it looked like more than WWE stuff. Like he was just kicking the crap out of some guy. It was crazy. It was really spooky. I relate to Halloween with the weather. And so now 1st and 2nd, 2 outs, and Crick's going to get a mound visit from the entire infield here at a 7-2 Evansville lead.
Actually, to go back with that clown wrestler, he kind of looked like the Joker.
Yeah.
So he just brought that kind of vibe where it's like, oh, his makeup was a little scary.
And they get ready up here in the media row. And I'd like to say that this area it would be named after Terry Bonadonna one day. The Terry Bonadonna press box. But no, it's big. It's because it has the suites. And so for those fans, oh boy, that aren't here for the wrestling, they're going to get a treat because those guys warm up in the hallway of the suites.
I just can't believe I just give those guys props for just having the passion to do that.
Yeah.
It's just something I would never think of. But I give them props. I mean, they're probably guys that always liked wrestling ever since high school, so they might probably are used to it. They probably competed in high school or college to try and make it into the WWE or some type of pro wrestling.
Crick really having a tough time. Misses to Peyton Isaacson. 2 outs. Bolts down by 5. Runners at 1st and 2nd. Spillane walked. Martino walked. Both 7 hits, as partner Andy Yaka mentioned last inning. Each team with 7. The 3 air spot costly at Windy City at the moment. 7-2 Evansville, 1-0 pitch. Crick breaking ball. That was a generous called strike, but on the corner it is 1-1. So Peyton Isaacson looking for his first hit of the night. As Crick has his selection. The 1-1 to Peyton Isaacson drilled into right field. Spies back, fluttering in front of the warning track. Makes the grab. To the top of the 8th we go for Mozinga Field. 7-2 Otters.
All across Illinois.
It's time to ride the White Castle Crave Wave. Turn up the heat with our 100% beef 1921 slider with ghost pepper cheese. It's seared, seasoned, and oh so fire. Then pump the brakes and take a sip of our new shake parfaits. From Oreo cookie to caramel butter cake, it's a classic shake adventure with a twist. The 1921 slider with ghost pepper cheese and new shake parfaits. The ultimate sweet and spicy ride. White Castle, long live sliders.
My name is Shay, and I have a condition that I take a medication that's made out of human plasma.
Hi, Shay. Welcome to BioLife. We take the generous gift of these donors in order to make these therapies. We make it safe, fast, and easy.
You know, you're compensated for your time while you're coming in and donating.
I just really wanted to thank you for your donation because y'all do change lives. Y'all really do. And I'm thankful for that.
Well, 7-2 Evansville lead. Top of the 8th, Justin Miller coming on for Windy City for some mop-up duty. Justin, well, here's the bad news. I'll give it first. His last time out, he surrendered a bomb, but the good news, he finished strong, which is what I really look for. Struck out the side in his last appearance. But I feel like, again, as I mentioned throughout the broadcast this year, all these relievers, pitchers, like we saw with Adrian Reese, his first start as Aiden Varley next to me doing some color. He might have you the whole way, partner. Andy Yakum taking a joyride behind us, eating a sandwich. Well-deserved.
Like I said, the biggest thing for the Bolts, they've had 11 men on 7 hits and 4 walks, that they've left 9 men on base so far in this contest. So another big, yes, they're getting some offense, but I think it's just clutch hitting and the clutch at-bats that are really killing the Thunderbolts right now.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough when Reese finished because 5 of those 6 final hitters got base knocks, but then it was just like errors, I feel like, from that point on. Long story short is George Khalil, check swing, he did go after a strike from Justin Miller. And again, I'm curious to see Miller's 13th appearance, 13 2/3 of work, 15 hits, 11 earned runs. And this one drilled into left, a base hit for George Khalil, who's 2 for 4 tonight. 7-2, a leadoff single here in the top of the 8th for George.
It's a hanging breaking ball from Miller right in the top left corner.
Exactly. Again, I want to see what he's got here as Troy Viola to the plate for the Otters. Was a distinguished scholar at Purdue, and he bunts down the third base line. Miller's going to go off the mound. The throw, not in time, and the one-hand scoop from Yotamine. Scored a hit. Bunt single for Viola. The Oregon native on for the first time tonight at a sacrifice fly back in that busy 6 to 7 run inning, and now primed for more with first and second. Are the Otters up by 5 here at the top of the 8th?
Otters are playing a lot of small ball today.
They are. They're a small ball team, yeah.
They've gotten a lot of Thunderbolts, or all of the Thunderbolts pitchers, to really just make mistakes or really rush up to try and get those ground balls off the bunt and have gotten on base the whole time. Each time.
It took me, until that series in Evansville to see that. They played small ball there, and that's part of their identity. And we saw Richie Sexton kind of responds in that bottom of the 5th. Bolts bunting at least 3 consecutive attempts at it. Riley did get a bunt single. This one outside for Miller with runners on first and second, no outs here in the top of the 8th. 7-2 Evansville.
You know what's throwing me off? Because I had to put Baez right below Viola because of the 6th inning, because I needed to write something down for my scorecard. So I almost went to start marking up Baez for getting.
I do that. I think this one misses 2-0 Miller here to an 0 for 4 Noah Myers. But, yeah, on these ones, because I can't. Every time I flip, it goes to like the last game. You know, I have to always. But then I sometimes I start the inning on like the inning we were on because I forget to flip. And it's just the life of Mark. 2-0 square, bunch shown by Myers, called strike. Well, I was talking to Griffin, the Otters broadcaster. He said Myers' average, on the road, can't confirm the exact number, but in the mid-100s. But at home, I mean, that is pumped to the upper 300s. And 0 for 4, as I mentioned tonight. He had 7 RBIs, 2 home runs. Called strike for Miller's 2-1 in that first outing against Windy City.
Miller's doing a really good job keeping the ball in the outer half to make sure that Myers does not get another bunt down for a possible bases loaded situation.
2-2 from Justin Miller is chopped off the plate, fouled on the first base side. As talked about previously, Bolts Fridays, Saturdays, always fireworks. You like fireworks, Aiden? I mean, you're going to see more of them this summer probably than your whole life.
I love them. As a kid, I did not like them. I was not big into the loud noises, but I love seeing fireworks. But hopefully we see some fireworks on the field tomorrow and a win.
That's
and
right.
Some T-birds, as they say, in Greece. It's also Greece night.
Yeah, no, I can't wait for that. Is is that a wild pitch? Couldn't be found by Morgan. I want to say, they called it a pass ball. Thanks, Tara. 3-2, the count. Runners escalate here to second and third. 7-2, Honors at the top of the 8th, no outs. And for Miller, again, I'm curious to see so far battling, to say the least, here at the top of the 8th. The full count pitch to Myers. He chops it in front of his teammates, one-handed in the hole area in front of the dugout, on the steps of the dugout. Remains 3-2. That was Quiggle making the grab.
Still a name I can't really take seriously.
Kona Quiggle. It's awesome. Chopped into right. That's going to plow for a base hit RBI. 1 run scores as Khalil and Viola follows him. It's 9-2 Otters here in the top of the 8th. And as Aiden mentioned, maybe it's the jerseys, because Gateway came in here, put up a 14 spot. So you do the math, 25-5 the Bolts have been outscoring these bad boys. We need to just auction them off right away.
Maybe the more we auction off, the more it will give us luck.
So Myers, 2 RBI single, and the tough sledding continues for Miller, whose ERA coming into the contest, 7.24. That's only going to ascend. And this is a shot in the right field, tailing towards the foul line, and caught in the right field there by Cumulos. 1 away in the top of the 8th. 9-2 Otters with a runner on. So Olson's retired on a fly ball to right. And now here's your man, Kona Quiggle. I love it. I love the name. And the part I don't like, at least to my knowledge, is that he wasn't named after Hawaii. So that's fascinating to me. But real cool name, I think. Everyone's different.
Honestly, I think it's the best name that I've seen in the Frontier League so far. But Cusker was pretty cool. I thought that was
he's a player. He's going to be an all-star. You might see him here in a month. Frontier League all-star game.
Well, I think so. I mean, he's still putting up video game numbers out.
Strike called after a pitch down low. Now time called here from Matt Morgan. The Tri-City Valley Cat. I can't believe it. Did I actually say River Rat?
I almost said that he was on Trois Rivières Eagle.
Yeah, nah. 1-1 for Miller. Not to my knowledge. 2-1. Carson McCusker. That's a good one.
He was that 6'9" dude. That
big guy.
Just really big.
Unit. Don't miss that guy. He was a hitter too. As Miller didn't miss by much, but with 1 out, 1 on 9-2 Evansville at the top of the 8th. 3-1 Dakota Quiggle, 2 for 3 this evening. 276 on the year. Single to that parade through the order, 7-run swing and a miss here for Kona, full count. Parade batting through the lineup in that top of the 6th. Bolts playing small ball. Riley, the bunt, dragging a run across. Robinson scores, but stop right there because that was where the Bolts were halted by a 7 spot in the 6th. This one in the dirt. They had a free pass here for Kona Quiggle and Justin Miller. Another base runner for Justin surrendered. First and second as Quiggle to first. 1 out. Myers to second, and I'll keep an eye on Myers just because he stole a couple bases last time on, and he's 11 for 12 this year. And this is, again, where you don't think Evansville will do it. They're up. Why do they need it? Well, I think repetition's the mother of skill. As Jeffrey Baez swinging a miss, and you never know. At least in a situation for them or Windy City where it can matter later in the year when you need to steal a base for a sac fly. Or, heck, if you just want to see what you can do, as Brian Rosario finally stolen out. He's not in the lineup tonight, but he's an Otter who was 24 for 24. He finally got caught stolen on Sunday. And he said, I'm not going to stop until they catch me, and that's the mentality that should happen. By his line, it's the first. Mionamine behind makes the grab, but he couldn't make the tag because that ball spiraling a handful of feet to his right, but he gets the out. 2 outs, 9-2 Evansville. Miller on the mound for the Bolts. Baez lines out the first. Now Dakota Phillips.
Still nobody on the bullpen for the Windy City Thunderbolts.
Mop-up duty. Got to get yourself in it. You get yourself out of it. As Miller fires. That's a swing and a miss. 92 on the gun from Dakota Phillips. 0 for 4 tonight. 235 on the year now. And, man, it just seems like I was in Evansville a month ago, but he was hitting around 296 as he lines this down the left side foul. 0-2 the count. And 2 gone. 9-2 Evansville here in the top of the 8th. Runners at first and second. 0-2 count for Justin Miller. That's hit sharply towards the shortstop as Spoon makes the play to the bottom of the 8th from Mozinga Field. All Otters, 9-2, Evansville.
Babes, what are you doing?
What?
Windy City Thunderbolt baseball coming at you. 9-2. Otters here in the bottom of the 8th as Mike Iodomine leads off. Mark Citral alongside Aiden Varley, Patty Cesarini down low. Don't think she's going to get a post-game report tonight unless it's on wrestling.
I'm surprised that she's even stayed down there that long.
Just Patty's pen. She loves it. As James Crick, wheeling and dealing, fires first pitch strike to Mikey Iodomine, who's got a single tonight, both 7 hits.
See anybody's yard card?
I think it's Patty's, right? Indy Yaw can give me scoreboard at my hometown Buccos, who, of course, are stinking up in Wrigley Field. And as I said, hey, used to losing ball, and unfortunately we can turn the tide this summer.
I definitely need to go to a Cubs game.
Oh, you haven't been to Wrigley?
Never been.
Wow.
No, I have been. Tried to get a tour in 2017, but I have not been to a game yet. Been dying to go to a game.
You got to go to the bleachers, yeah. Even Jotham would agree, our producer in studio. 9-2 Evansville here on a 1-2 count, no outs, bottom of the 8th to Mike Iodomine. That's good. You got to go to the bleachers, though. I think it was when I was in high school. Andrew McCutcheon, I think, was a rookie, and as this one misses, but my brother and I hit a bucko. Kutcher, he goes, Kutch, after the inning break because he caught a fly ball, and Kutch just, yeah.
I feel like the bleacher seats are always like some of the best. I went to Yankee Stadium, and the bleacher fans are insane.
You got to go to Wrigley. That swing and a miss, Iodomine down on strikes. It's quite an experience, man. It's just coming from PNC Park like that, because when I tell people, I grew up a Pirates fan, they go, PNC Park's really nice. It's like, yeah, but it doesn't have the atmosphere like Wrigley, right? Like, it doesn't have even close.
The best ballpark that I've been to, I would say, is Candlestick in Baltimore. That is one of the nicest stadiums I've seen so far. So it'd kind of be good to see.
Interesting.
The two
Candlestick. I want to say I've been there, as a strike is called. Is that the new one? The new one, right? The newer.
Yes. Well, relative. I mean, if you
Right,
count, maybe I feel like it's maybe like 10 years or over 10, 15 years. I could be wrong.
I thought it was Oakland, but I've been to the Baltimore Park. But again, fans will need to hear my experiences if you have a favorite park. But I really love the atmospheres. Daniel Robinson, a couple hits tonight, finishing off where he left off. 9-2 Evansville here with 1 out and a 1-1 count in the bottom of the 8th. Talking ballparks. Haven't been to the new Yankee Stadium. Was that the old one? Honest, not impressed really.
I've heard the old one was better.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't think so much how much it looked, but also how on top the fans were. I feel like that was rocking more than the new Yankee Stadium because they were so on top of you, the fans.
Yeah, I heard Milwaukee, Miller Park's a really nice place. Haven't caught a game there yet, as this one misses to Robinson. And I can't wait to at least judge Frontier Parks because I know I'm biased, but I really like home here. And I try to get Griffin, the Otters broadcaster, his opinion on the park. He said, yeah, it's nice. Just it was funny though. It's kind of random where you just pull off and it's a little industrial. And this one misses inside to Robinson Crick. 3-2 to Daniel with 1 out. 9-2 Evansville, bottom of the 8th. But no, you got that kind of right. It's out there a bit, but then you get used to it, right? Like I feel like
it's kind of cool seeing like older stadiums because I feel like there's more character to older stadiums and like more history.
Robinson fouls it off. And speaking of which, yeah, Bozzie Field, the home of the Otters, 3rd oldest behind Fenway and Wrigley. So it's kind of interesting. Like for a park, obviously it's in the not major leagues. I wanted to say it's a hybrid of Wrigley. It's Mini-Me, Wrigley Field, 9-2 Otters. Crick, the 3-2 again to Robinson, who's fought hard. And he again fouls it off left side. Daniel doing work. There's some action in the Evansville pen here, and they're up by a touchdown. These two teams won't meet again until July 7th in Evansville for a set through the 9th, and then back here August 8th.
It looks like Hunter Cloak is in their bullpen right now.
Southpaw. You have number 35. want to confirm that, but this is going to miss Robinson and walk here. That's what being a pro does right there. Daniel Robinson fighting again.
Robinson, unbelievable discipline there. He was able to foul some tough pitches off, work the pitch count, and was able to get on base.
9-2 Evansville leadoff walk. Crick now surrendered a couple of those bad boys.
You know, I was saying when I was down in Patty's little
pen. Patty's pen.
I might, because it's so hard to see from the bullpen, so I would just like text you. I was thinking about like texting you guys, hey, this person's in the pen.
Yeah, that should be a part of her repertoire with one out. Robinson, third walk for Crick. As the Evansville pen looking on here. And this is a looper into left center field. It's going to land for Matt Morgan's second hit of the night. Good to see that. No yard card for me either. But back-to-back singles, more importantly, for Matt. Bolts with one out here. Or sliders here on Thursdays at the park. Crick's going to get a new ball. Is Paul Cumulos, the Florida native, to the plate. 1 for 3 tonight.
Bolts now have 8 hits and had 13 men on base so far. So a big thing here is they need to have some clutch hitting, maybe to try and pull closer to this 8-2 Otters lead, or 9-2.
Pitch clock violation. Crick fired away anyway, but 1-0 now to Cumulos. Yeah, you know, I was going to maybe say that after a 7-2, but they're going to need more than that. I think they're going to need a Windy City slider miracle here. But again, I like to think of it next rep, next man up mentality as Cumulos takes away 2-0. Runners at first and second, 9-2 Evansville. And, you know, a guy like Cumulos, starting to see him blossom a bit. You just hope for the best here. He's got some power in him. But, yeah, eventually, because just like Evansville, you can make a 7 spot up. They got a 7 spot. Why can't Windy City? This is blooped foul. 1-2-0 to Cumulos with 1 down.
I'm really looking for it to get to Brent Spillane this inning. Maybe get like a nice 2-run knock.
Your yard card, hopefully, as the fella's working, they're not going to quit. Down by 7. 5 outs to play here, 2 in the bottom of the 8th. 2-1 pitch awaiting Cumulos. Morgan on first, Robinson on second. That's outside. 3-1 from Crick.
Cumulos is going to get the green light here. He luckily got the pitch clock violation with the early 1-0 count. Now it's 3-1, so looking for a fastball right towards the middle of the plate.
See what James Crick's got up his sleeve. He's had 3 walks in an inning, a third of work. Make it 4. Misses outside, a 3-1 pitch. Want to say we might be seeing a pitching change here in a moment with the bags loaded. 1 out, and you never know, Aiden. Wouldn't that be something? A Windy City slider miracle. If the fellas, we get a mound visit in or a pitching change here as Crick all over the place, and he's going to take the seat as Andy McCauley takes the ball away from James Crick. 9-2 Evansville. They're still in control in the driver's seat. Pitching change with the bases loaded, 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. We'll be right back after this.
She was 27 years old in her car, given her for self-defense.
Thunderbolts baseball. Loving the beats tonight. However, score on the board, 9-2 Otters in the bottom of the 8th. They're showing a clip from Major League, I believe. It was funny because with one out here, Bolts in business. Top of the order for Will Riley, but were you guys here when I talked about the catcher from Major League 3 minors I think it was the Lake Erie series because the dude he had a laser arm, but he couldn't hit second base. And the catcher in Major League 3, as this one misses to Riley, he had to recite magazine articles to get his brain on the target. But it started cracking me up because the dude, was not even close throwing into second base. Called strike here from Clokey.
Every time I think of the Washington Wild Things, I either think of the Wild Things, the animal book, or I think about Wild Thing from the Major League movies. So every time I see it, I always think of Charlie Sheen's character in the movie Major League.
Clokey misses outside. 9-2 Evansville at the bottom of the 8th.
Hunter Cloak has had 9 appearances, 1 loss on the year, 11 2/3 innings pitched with a 2.31 ERA and 18 strikeouts. And his last outing, he went an inning and a third with 2 hits, 2 runs, and 4 strikeouts.
Clokey, through the last 40 seconds, missed outside, barely missed there on the core. 3-1 here. The bag's loaded for Riley, who's 1 for 3. And he smashes this to right center fields. And Baez can't make the grab, tumbling the ball into center fields. Cutoff man is going to throw to third. 2 runs will score in for Will Riley, a 2-run double here in the bottom of the 8th, responding to the 2 spot. And the Ozinga crowd loving this. 9-4 Otters.
Will Riley, we did see him hit that walk-off yesterday, is now 2 for 5 today with a big 2-run single, or to kind of maybe start a rally here for Windy City Thunderbolts.
Or the sliders, runners at the corners. Boone to the plate in the 9-4 game in the bottom of the 8th. Great to see the fellas battling.
Big thing here is you don't want a ground ball to end the inning.
Breaking ball called strike with 1 out. Yeah, but we'll take the runs. It's just tough because I thought 7-2 was tough, and it's I just see that spot, the 2 spot the Otters had in the top half of this 8th, and it's there's still a lot of hill to climb as this one misses outside. But, hey, Bleeding Bolts right now, sliders here on Thursdays, post-game wrestling.
It was a rough outing for Justin Miller that led to those 2 extra runs.
What's the final line there for J-Mill?
Justin Miller went an innings pitch with 3 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, and 0 strikeouts.
All right. As right now, Bolts down by 5. Runners at the corners, 1-1 to Boone with a 1 out. As Clokey has the selection and the pitch that's drilled to the right side. Base hit for Boone. 4-run game, 9-5. Second of the night for Jake, who claps. And how about a yard card for your boy? That would be something.
I did say a 2-run homer would be sweet. To pull the lead to just 2 runs if or actually I should say 3-run home run to pull it within 1.
Well, now a 9-5 Otters lead. Brent Spillane does not have a hit in the ball game. 0 for 3. Popped out his last time up to second. With 1 out, runners at first and second, takes a breaking ball, called strike.
Brent is 0 for 3 today with a walk in the bottom of the 7th.
Clokey, the 0-1 pitch selected is coming to Brent Spillane. He tips it foul. That thing had a ton of movement and off the catcher here, Dakota Phillips, who's in pain. Walks it off to his pitcher. Tough cookie. 0-2 the count. With 1 down here and runners at first and second and 9-5 Otters lead in the bottom of the 8th. Bolts again hosting the Jackals. Check up on those Jackals. New Jersey Jackals
That's like we like to say in New York, New Jersey.
Jersey. Yeah, no, it's tough guy. Yeah, we were talking like baseball and Mets, yeah, because Andy was saying, oh, as Cubs, I've seen a lot of losing. He's like, yeah, you got a World Series. But we're not going to talk that. Bratton, a drive to center, but it's going to stay in the park, unfortunately, and tracked there in center field by Quiggle. 2 outs. It's crazy. That is a tough place to hit a homer like Mike Ionamine did last night. So if 9-5 remains, Otters.
I wouldn't even call that like just a homer. I didn't even see it leave, like go drop. I didn't even see it go over the back center field wall.
Yeah, I crushed that, but wind held it in as well, but still no cigar. Bolts Junior Martina now.
Noma, your guy for a yard card.
Yeah, I couldn't take him. What? I don't know what the rule is, but it's like 3 times in a row. I don't even think 2 times in a row. Is it called strike?
It's tough when your dad's also rooting for you. He thought I hit the yard card with Michael Ionamine. Little did he know that it was the first game.
That's a tough balance. That was just a tough balance for all of us, though. But would you have even selected him, swing and a miss from Junior 0-2?
No, because we implemented those rules that you can't take somebody twice. So probably would have maybe went a Junior Martina route like you or Peyton Isaacson.
Fair. I can't say I would have taken Mikey. I don't know. I mean, so it doesn't – yeah, but it's just funny how we make it a game. The 0-2 Junior tips it foul toward his teammates in the dugout. 3 spot for the Bolts here in this half. Good to see the fellas battling hard here. Runners at first and second. Bolts in business. 2 outs, 0-2 to Martina. Calls for time.
Martina is 0 for 2 with 2 walks.
Well, Jackals from New Jersey I mentioned, and we'll get to them tomorrow. Plenty this weekend, but in the midst of a 7-game winning streak, they're on the verge of sweeping Gateway. It's 6-4 now. Grizzlies has a breaking ball. Called strike 3 to Martina. To the top of the 9th. 9-5 Evansville. We go from Ozinga Field.
You know, I grew up.
Nine 9-5 Evansville here at the top of the 9th. It's good. Now we're butchering about sports teams. It's good.
There we go. Always good banter.
I don't think anyone wants to hear about how our non-wins in life is the Cubbies beating up on the Buccos. That's Central, though.
Bucco Blast.
And we were talking about how disgraceful it is at Central.
Oh, that division's been so bad.
It's garbage. I love the rules, though, at least with baseball, schedule-wise, where you get a taste of every team.
I love that. No, that was such a great decision.
Tired of losing to you guys. Get the brooms out. I think it was like 2 years ago. Cal Roskovich enters the game for Windy City. 9-5 here in the top of the 9th to Yamar Reyes. There's Jamar. It's been excellent this series.
I mean, I was a huge fan of Major League Baseball doing that.
Yeah.
You play every team in your division 19 times each.
This is popped to the first base side. Mikey Ionamine Weathers makes the grab. Well, yeah, no, that was long overdue as well. You talk about pitch clock. I love the whole makeup of it. I feel like a new era for baseball.
Hey, we have the pitch clock right now, and this game is getting near the 3-hour mark, partner. So
yeah,
it doesn't always assure that the game's going to go by quick.
Nah, but I mean, how many 3-hour games? 1 or 2?
Not a lot this year.
30?
Not a lot this year, no.
So I guess we're due statistics-wise, and Cal here.
Oof. Like
Surprised we haven't seen more of Cal.
Yeah, this is appearance number 9 for Cal. He's had 8 appearances, 8 total innings, a 2.25 ERA, 7 Ks through a limited sample size. Pretty impressive numbers for him. Whenever he comes out here, I'm typically impressed with what he brings to the table.
Strike called after prior strike 0-2 with 1 gone, 9-5 Otters. Well, Bolts at least have made it a game in a sense of 4 runs they'll need in the 9th at the minimum here. But, you know, we've seen a lot of mop-up duty for Justin Miller, other guys. And again, those reps whenever we can. But yeah, for Cal, it's double-digit appearance here tonight as Taraskovich settles the 0-2, is inside 1-2. It's 1 gone. It's here to Ethan Skender, the second baseman for Evansville. The southpaw, Cal Taraskovich. Selection, and it's drilled to the third base side. Martina will gobble it up, fire for the out. On to first, 2 away in the top of the 9th.
Cal working quick, being efficient as well. 2 up, 2 down for him. He'll get George Khalil now, who has scored twice. Each of his last 2 times up to the plate he has scored.
Yeah, I feel like he's had some quality at-bats this series, and keep an eye on that Jackals game, man. They're coming in here hot. And so for the Bolts, you know, I talked about last week, or at least prior to the road trip, character week, and we saw a character win from this team yesterday in the doubleheader. Right now, 9-5 Otters with 1 out for Evansville here in the top of the 9th. Khalil grounding out to second, and then back in the 4th also grounded out before he doubled in an RBI in the 6th. As the wrestlers getting wound up here at Azinga Field for post-game fireworks. On the ring, of course. That's Friday and Saturday at the park. Fireworks here at Azinga Field. Strike dished out 1-1 the count, 2 outs to Khalil. As Taraskovich, this is drilled into center field. Spillane backpedaling, makes the grab. Bolts get those rally caps on. They need 4 to tie. Heading to the bottom of the 9th. 9-5 Evansville.
When I smoke weed, I get lost in the music. I like to isolate.
Thunderbolts baseball, bottom of the 9th. We need those rally caps and some more.
More than ever, partner, more than ever.
9-5 Evansville. Peyton Isaacson to the dish. 3 outs remaining as Clokey remains on the hill. to lead off the bottom of the ninth. PI, as his teammates call him. Hitless this evening, takes one on the corner, called strike. 0 for 4 for PI. Couple of ground outs, actually a trio, according to my calculations. This was outside. Clokey 1-1 the count. Clokey's pitch misses 2-1. What's the craziest comeback you've been a part of, partner?
Been a part of? Oh, man. I've been a part of some good ones. I know. We'll dive into this story after this pitch. It's a little bit more of a lengthy one. I'll do my best to cut it down.
Clokey is some check swing fouled off 2-2 to PI.
So going into my freshman year of college, club ball, I was pitching against my future roommate. So we were both pitchers. We were pitching against each other.
Whoa.
And my team was down 4 in the bottom of the 7th. We clawed back with 2 outs, two runners on, down 3 runs. My buddy hit a walk-off homer to win the game.
Wow. Strikeout for Peyton Isaacson, down to 2 outs, 9-5 Evansville. So that's basically equivalent to the bottom of the 9th with 2-out rally, and then he hit a 3-run jack.
Yep. No, we were able to get 1 across. Then we got 2 outs. 2 knocks came through later. Yeah, runners on the corners. It wasn't against my future roommate. It was against one of their relievers. But I got the video on my phone. I'll have to show you. It was pretty wild stuff.
All right. Yeah, no, it's crazy. Makes you think. Strike call to Mikey Onomine with 1 out.
I'm sure I've been a part of bigger deficits, but in terms of just how the game ended, that will always stand out for me in my mind.
Clucky's pitch misses away. Onomine 1 for 3 has an RBI hit.
Continuing to see the ball well as Micah, not only in this homestand, but even out in East. You mentioned got his first homer of the year on that road trip.
Pitch off the knuckles there, misses 2-1 from Clokey. 9-5 Evansville. 1 out here at the bottom of the 9th. Yeah, we're at 3 hours here. Approaching 3 hours. 2-1. That's inside. Called strike to Yodomine. The Honolulu Kid. 2-2 to Mikey Yodomine. Bolt's first baseman. Up there, I'd say with Junior Martin in terms of the consistency we've seen all year long on both sides as he hits this between third and short. Diving effort by Khalil, but no play. Great effort nonetheless. Mikey Yodomine keeping the Bolts alive here in the bottom of the 9th.
For Micah, too. Sorry to cut you off there, partner.
You're good.
Continuing to see the ball well. Let's see what Dan Robinson's got up his sleeve here.
Daniel's
got a couple knocks. He scored twice as well. He's reached in every at-bat every plate appearance except back in the 6th when he struck out, but finding his way on base early and often.
Get him in, get him on, get him home. Bolts need 4 of those home. Robinson 1 on 1 out at the bottom of the 9th, 9-5 Evansville. James Clokey fires the southpaw. Called strike to Daniel, who's drone a walk, has a couple of hits this evening. Clokey the southpaw with Yodomine at first. Yodomine not far off the bag. Shouldn't be concerned, as Andy would say, about this runner at all. He's meaningless. Just get this out. 1-1 on the count. 1 out. Here in the bottom of the 9th, 9-5 Otters. Robinson at the plate. Pitch from Clokey. That's a breaking ball, misses inside. 2-1. Bolts left fielder Daniel Robinson.
The tying run for this ball game awaits not on deck, but in the hole. Paul Koumelos. Crazier things have happened, folks, I promise you.
Yesterday was crazy. This is a breaking ball, finds the spot. 2-2. I think the way that the Bolts won that one too, but the way that the first walk-off you guys saw as an away team, but I'm a fan of the sudden death.
It's a way to make sure the games get done at a somewhat promptly manner. You don't get into those 14-inning games.
Popped in the middle of the diamonds, and it's skied by Khalil, who makes the grab. So Bolts down to their final out in this series against Evansville. Down 9-5. Runner on, 2 outs. It's Matt Morgan is 2 for 4 tonight.
How about that? A multi-hit game for Matt Morgan. He came around to score back on that 2-run base knock from Will Riley just an inning ago. He'll, as you mentioned, being the last hope, will look to extend this pass the baton here in this bottom of the ninth, Mark.
Like that one. That's a new one. 4 Bolts with the multi-hit games is swing and a miss from Morgan. 0-1 the count. Robinson, Riley, Morgan, Boone, and Yonamine. Kumlos the only one. He's got a hit, but Brent Spillane, Junior Martina, PI off the hitting chart, but take that as a big cut. That ball breaking down low on Morgan. 0-2 with 2 outs, and they bomb in the ninth. 9-5 Otters. Bolts back in action. Again, mentioned multiple times. We got 80s night Saturday, fireworks.
I'm so looking forward to the music on 80s night, partner. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's good. Arguably the best air of all time. Breaking ball misses low. I don't know how we can confirm that, but I'll tell you what, I don't know that. I wasn't born yet. None of us were in this box.
Not even close for me.
Time
even
called.
Close.
Parents obviously can take their word, but that's a topic for debate, obviously. But with the way phones and things, it's how I got to the. I don't even want to get there to the AI or whatever. It's crazy, man. Like there wasn't any of that stuff back then, so it's hard to make a case now. Swing and a miss, game over. Bleeding Bolts stop the bleeding. They lose 9-5 against the Otters. 2-3. Evansville takes in this series. Your series thoughts, Andy?
Tough way to end it. Loved the fight yesterday. A couple close games. 2 one-run games, coming back, clawing, getting the walk-off. Last night, obviously had good vibes going into this game, getting 5 scoreless from Adrian Reese prior to that huge 7-run inning, which turned out to be the factor in this one. Putting up 5, they out-hit the Otters, Mark. They out-hit them 11-10. At the end of the day, pitching and defense, 3 errors committed by Windy City, 2 in that 7-run inning. Fortunately, that's not going to win you many ball games in this league or in any league, to be frank, in that matter. So dropping 2 or 3 is tough, but got to turn the page. New Jersey's in town tomorrow for a 3-game set. Got to look forward.
Well said, my friend. And, nothing more to add, but I'd say a character series with a team that's about to win 8 games in a row coming into this ballpark. So you rebound. I thought yesterday was thrilling, but we'll take it away to Patty Cesarini, Aiden Varley after this brief break. 9-5 Otters take the series and win this finale here at Ozinga Field. Post-game reaction next.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
What is dedication?
My daughter is biological and my son is adopted. I love them both so much. From the morning when you wake up to putting them to bed at night and every moment in between. I think a parent's job is to protect our children, but also prepare them for the world so they become good, kind human beings.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Thunderbolts post-game show as we wrapped up the Windy City Thunderbolts losing 9-5 to the Evansville Otters. Very rough game defensively and for pitching today for the Windy City Thunderbolts, as the Windy City Thunderbolts did surrender 3 errors. Aiden Varley and Patty Cesarini back here. Patty, we got the offense, but sadly the defense and the pitching was not ideal.
I mean, I think you could even argue a little bit. You had 11 hits, 11 hits in a lot of the action, a lot of the guys getting across home plate was a lot later on going into the game, but we had quite a few hits early on too. Just nobody was being pushed across, so it goes both ways. Yeah, sure, we got a lot of hits, but it's what do you do with the guys that are on base? And I think that's where we're getting into this downfall here.
Patty did mention that a lot of men were left on base. We had 12 men left on base today. Yes, we had 11 hits and 6 walks today, but we also did strike out 10 times, so also like a little bit of the discipline from some of the guys like Brent Spillane and Peyton Isaacson was just not there today. Some of the big at-bats in the middle of the Windy City Thunderbolts lineup.
No, and a lot of these guys on this team, they look to someone like Brent Spillane as a leader, especially offensively. But you can't come out here. That's any athlete, any sport. You can't be like 110%. You can't all the time. You obviously have to give 110% worth of your effort, but sometimes, you just have a game like that. But you have to also have other people be able to step up. And I think in that 6th inning, in top of 6, or I should say in top of 5, we saw things start to crumble. And then in top of 6, when Evansville went on just a huge run off of our errors. We had 2 outs, and you produce that many errors. It says there's only 3 on the board, but I'm talking like all the other stuff, walking batters and all that kind of things, all that stuff that's not accounted for numerically as an error. That hurts. It hurts, and all of that stuff adds up, and then you get a crooked number, like 7 on the board.
Patty, like you said, they played a lot of small ball at Evansville, so it was tough for Adrian Reese and Justin Miller to really Justin Miller just to try to charge those ground balls off the bunts and try to get some early key outs in that 6th inning that led to those 7 runs. And sadly, Evansville did add 2 more in the top of the 8th, and the Windy City Sliders, who got fried today, I'd like to say, did get 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th, but it was a little too late for the Windy City Thunderbolts. So tomorrow, the Windy City Thunderbolts are back against the New Jersey Jackals. A 6:35 start tomorrow on Grease Night. Tomorrow's probables is John Vargas for... Nope, sorry, that is Evansville. I'm looking at the wrong thing. But tomorrow, what are the keys for the Windy City Thunderbolts to maybe try and start off on a win on this next series against the New Jersey Jackals?
No errors. And I bet if they had a practice before they went to this next series, they'd work a lot on bunt defense.
We did see Richie Sexton did have sometimes during batting practice today, he did have a lot of extra work on the infield and try and work on those errors. So maybe we'll see some more tomorrow during batting practice. But that's it. That's all we have for you today as Windy City falls to 11-19 and fall in another series against the Evansville Otters. We will see you guys tomorrow. For Aiden Varley and Patty Cesarini, Mark Citron, and Andy Yackham, see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, this is Mike. This is Steve. From Ledford. Are you cool? You're listening to WXAV 88.3 FM.
There's a song I'd like to sing for y'all about the legend of WXAV. There used to be a time where radio was ordinary until we found a station. It was WXAV. It has all types of music, from indie rock to R&B. Escape all your frustration here at WXAV. Oh, and